The energy body is a complex structure. In many ways it can be likened to a subtle energy reflection of the physical body, composed of highly structured etheric matter. Etheric matter is not scientifically recognized, but metaphysically speaking, this is the binding substance that exists in between matter and non-matter, substance that binds physical with non-physical. The energy body contains several interdependent energetic circuits. I have defined these logically through experimentation, observation, and reasoning. My terminology, definitions, and descriptions here provide a good rule of thumb way to understand and deal with the nature and processes of the human energy body without being overly technical or mysteriously esoteric. 5 main energy circuits. 1. Master circuit, Kundalini circuit. 2. Storage circuit, 3 main energy storage centers. 3. Primary circuit, 7 primary centers. 4. Secondary circuit, supporting secondary centers. 5. Tertiary circuit, energy exchange ports. Each of these circuits has many different functions on the physical, bioenergetic, and pure energetic levels. While each can be said to be a completely independent bioenergetic circuit, these are all interconnected and work together, supporting each other's energy requirements and functions. All are integral parts of the underlying bioenergetic support structure of the physical body. The primary energy centers and their higher functions cannot properly be developed or used until their underlying energy support structures have been developed to allow this. If attempts are made to develop and use the higher centers first, a great deal of time must be spent waiting for these support structures to develop in response to the new demands being placed upon them. The lower energetic circuitry will eventually develop in response to higher energetic demands, but this will happen very slowly, often requiring many years of waiting time. Early bioenergetic development work, especially involving primary energy centers, causes some pretty major disruptions and realignments to occur within the existing structure of the energy body. New energy pathways are formed and old or blocked ones are redefined and cleared. This happens in response to the greater demands placed upon support structures through the changed requirements and energy demands of the higher primary centers, until these support structures develop to the point where they can meet this greater demand. Energy can be taken from the storage areas of the energy body. This can drain the bioenergetic aspect of the etheric body and can even cause the physical body itself to become energetically depleted, which can cause physical tiredness. While these symptoms do not always occur during early energetic development, they should always be kept in mind. Fatigue, dizziness, headaches, digestive problems, depression, cramps, aches and pains, and a variety of emotional disorders can become temporary problems in varying combinations and degrees of severity. These effects can be especially pronounced if the recommended procedures and cautions given within these tutorials are not adhered to. Primary energy center work should never be undertaken too vigorously or at too early a stage of development to avoid most potential problems. And before any primary centers are worked upon, supporting structures need to be developed, nurtured, and conditioned to handle a greater flow of energy. The first step in developing the energy body is to stimulate and clear individual secondary energy centers, energy exchange port clusters, and connecting energy pathways. While this process may sound laborious, it yields great developmental rewards in the long term. Once this process is underway, energy will begin flowing more freely and strongly throughout the energy body. This alone promotes faster and healthier development in every aspect of the energy body, while also empowering the immune system and other self-healing processes of the physical body. Energy flow. The average person normally absorbs only a small quantity of the energy available to him, her each day. Energy is absorbed during sleep, as well as through other means like digestion, breathing, and sunlight. Now let us say, for example, that the average person absorbs 100 units of raw energy per day, and that this is enough for her average daily requirements. But when this same person undertakes bioenergetic development exercises and energy usage increases, she begin using 200 or more units of raw energy per day. This deficit of 100 units will usually be made up for through the energy body's storage areas. The physical symptoms of bioenergetic depletion, as discussed above, can be the result if the storage areas become depleted. With a little time and attention, however, the energy body can be conditioned to handle anything. This is best done through stimulating, developing, and nurturing the all-important secondary and tertiary centers. The energy body can adapt and develop to fulfill any new energy requirements fairly quickly, but only if the development process is managed intelligently. If left to develop under its own steam, as a natural response to increased energy demands of higher energy centers, overall energy body development can be extremely slow. Secondary energy centers. According to my observations, secondary energy centers share many similarities with primary energy centers, but are smaller, simpler, and have fewer functions. Their main purpose is to refine, transform, and condition energies received through the tertiary system into energy with specific qualities as required. In a way, secondary energy centers can be thought of as something like bioenergetic, electronic components of the energy body. The above diagram represents a typical secondary energy center based upon logic. I find it easier to picture this type of secondary center as having 4 poles and a central core running through its bone marrow core. Each pole is a small vortex-like energetic structure at which flowers on the surface of the skin directly above the joint, in and on the skin's surface. These poles are connected to a larger internal conduit, which runs through the center of all bones. Energy flowing through bone marrow cores may be the cause of the bone deep tingling and rushing water-type energy movement sensation, commonly felt while working with the new system. The skeletal secondary centers are also interconnected through energy pathways running through flesh, muscles, tendons, and nerves, as well as through and along the surface of the skin. Slightly different but with similar functions are those secondary centers attached directly to physical organs, nerve ganglia, glands, and muscles. These types of secondary centers are not directly attached to the skeletal system. Some of these seem to have only 1 or 2 poles flowering on the skin surface, and others do not seem to have any surface vortex at all. I have not determined a great deal more about this particular type of secondary energy center at this time. Secondary energy centers and their interconnecting energetic pathways seem fairly well in line with traditional acupuncture meridians and acupoints. Not surprisingly, striking similarities exist between the secondary system as a whole and the human nervous and circulatory systems. Energy exchange ports. Energy exchange ports are tiny pore-like energy centers with very simple functions. These are much like the millions of tiny pores and hairs covering the skin of the human body. Their basic function is to absorb and discharge energies, and on a higher level to detect energy. The whole surface of the skin is lightly covered with these, but they are heavily concentrated in several main areas. 1. Soles of the feet. 2. Palms of the hands. 3. Nasal passages and lungs. 4. Lips, mouth, and tongue. 5. Genitals. The hands and feet are the largest energy conduits into the body and thus contain heavier concentrations of energy exchange ports. These are, therefore, the most important areas to stimulate, develop, and make awareness sensitive during early development exercises. The human energy body has 3 main vitality storage centers, where different qualities of energies are accumulated and stored. These are quite different from the primary energy centers that share the same general area with each of these, although they can be said to be energetically interrelated. 1. The subnavel position, midway between belly button and pubic line, 2 inches inside average-sized body. Function, raw physical vitality energy storage. 2. The subheart position, center of chest at base of sternum, 2 inches inside average-sized body. Function, raw emotional energy storage. 3. The subbrow position, between eye socket ridges and center of brow, 2 inches inside average-sized body. Function, raw mental and psychic energy storage. Of these 3 storage centers, the most important and safest to actively fill is the subnavel storage center. The 3 storage centers are interconnected. As the subnavel center is being filled, it automatically overflows into the subheart storage center, and as the subheart storage center is being filled, it automatically overflows into the subbrow storage center. So when energy is directed solely into the subnavel center, the 2 higher centers above it are automatically filled at the same time. I have found that directly filling either of the 2 higher storage centers is a very unwise practice indeed. This experience has shown me, have many adverse effects. It can unbalance the energy body and significantly lower overall energy levels. This is not only developmentally counterproductive, but it can also have adverse effects on emotional, mental, and psychic stability. Filling all the storage centers is a lifetime's work, so it can take several months or more of regular energy raising before energy levels significantly increase. This slow start is mainly due to excess energy being used up during the early development process. It is important to note that you do not have to actually fill the subnavel center before energy begins overflowing into the subheart and subbrow centers. As the subnavel center is being developed and filled, preconditioned energy is fed into each of the 2 higher centers automatically. If the procedures given in this book are followed, the 3 storage centers will fill and develop together naturally and in a well-balanced way. And when it comes to long-term energy body development, balance is extremely important. Unfortunately, there are no safe shortcuts with the new system. If you long for psychic abilities, as people often do these days, practice regular trance meditation and work daily at filling your subnavel center, and using other energy circuits given in this tutorial. Make trance meditation and energy raising a part of your daily life, and your energy body will safely and progressively develop in a natural, balanced, and healthy way. Any dormant psychic abilities will begin to manifest when they are ready, when energetic conditions which allow them are created. In theory, it might sound like a good idea to work solely on the higher centers if psychic abilities are being developed, but a plethora of potential problems can arise doing it this way. These can all be avoided by conditioning the secondary centers first, and overall progress will always be much faster if this rule is adhered to. Taken all together, the required skills for any kind of energy work or metaphysical development can seem pretty daunting, but please don't panic. Taken one at a time, the individual skills needed for development are very simple. They are all very easy to learn and do when explained and taught in just the right way. Anyone can learn them. The following development units are carefully structured to present everything in just the right order to make the learning process as easy and painless as possible. No prior skills are required to begin with. I have designed the coming sections with the complete novice in mind, but while also catering for the needs of intermediate and advanced students. Anyone can learn and use these techniques, even if they have never had any previous success with energy or development work. I say this without reservation. Some of the theories, techniques, and processes offered here are quite new, while other components are clever innovations on existing knowledge. But all are extremely effective. Using these tools, it will not take years of hard work before any noticeable results are achieved. In fact, because of their effectiveness, most people will get worthwhile results the very first time they use them. What's new about visualization? Let's face it, 99% of people can't visualize for peanuts. Though, let me rephrase that, 99% of people think they cannot visualize. But this is all wrong too, because I know that 100% of people can visualize perfectly. Everyone does it all the time. They just don't know they are doing it. If you are one of the many people that has problems with visualization, then this is the chapter you have been waiting for all your life. The above stated problem comes about simply because visualization is generally so poorly explained and taught these days. Visualization is considered by many to be an ability that takes years to master. But visualization is extremely easy, and it does not take any time at all to master. It is a natural ability that everyone has and uses all the time. It is an ability that anyone can do with virtually no training or practice. There are profound inbuilt problems with the majority of today's popular New Age visualization-based techniques. This is especially apparent with popular energy body and chakra development techniques. If you seriously examine them, I have come across countless developmental problems relating to this single issue. This problem is so serious it greatly increases the difficulty levels encountered with any kind of serious development work. Development time is thereby seriously lengthened. As a consequence, the majority of people give up well before they get any noticeable or worthwhile results. To illustrate a part of this problem, if you belong to a meditation or development group, go and ask everyone, one at a time and in private, how they really get on with visualization. Note the slightly worried looks you'll get with this question if you push it, especially from those teaching it. If they are completely honest, most people will admit to having a few basic problems with visualization, or that they just can't do it at all. But you will also find a few who will claim to have no problems whatsoever. These lucky few can easily see in their mind's eye whatever they visualize, just as if they are watching a little TV behind their closed eyelids, in their mind's eye. The lucky few with this type of visual ability are unintentionally a part of this widespread self-propagating problem. Mind's eye visual ability, or visualization. The commonly used term is at the root of this whole problem, plus the inadequate explanations people are usually given when learning or being taught this essential skill. A lot of teachers in this field intimate to their students that, with a little practice, they will one day be able to see what they are visualizing, just like watching a little TV inside their heads. Unfortunately, while this is partly true, it takes more than just a little practice and ability to do this. It is not something learned quickly, barring natural ability, of course. To put it in a nutshell, visualization is not a visual skill. You are not supposed to actually see what you visualize. If you do see something, it is then no longer classed as visualization. It then becomes a mind's eye vision type of ability. During any type of meditation or training exercise requiring deep physical and mental relaxation, when combined with a visualization exercise, some people will always be found who develop partial clairvoyance, or an awake semi-lucid dream type of creative visual ability, or a combination of these. These are very visual abilities, enabling people with them to actually see what they are visualizing in their mind's eyes. Lucid dreaming. The normal lucid dream state occurs when the dreamer's mind becomes aware it is dreaming while its physical body is asleep. The conscious mind then takes control over the dreamscape, gaining some measure of creative power and influence over it. Clairvoyance. The visual aspect of clairvoyance is where mind's eye visions are seen, just like clairvoyant is watching a little TV inside his/her head. Lucid dreams and clairvoyance are both very visual mind's eye experiences. Now don't get me wrong here, as there is nothing wrong with this type of lucid dream come clairvoyant ability enhancing visualization. It is a very interesting and useful ability, but it is just not an ability the majority of people have. It is also not easily or quickly learned, barring accident or natural ability. It is therefore reasonable to suggest that it is misleading to expect everyone to have or to be able to quickly and easily learn this type of visual mind's eye visualization ability. The problem progresses from here when the above type of visual mind's eye ability becomes the accepted norm that everyone is told to aspire to. When this happens, people start to believe they must develop this level visual mind's eye ability in order to visualize properly. All it takes in any group is for a single person, especially a group leader, to tell to the rest of the group she can actually see what is being visualized. Once this happens, the rest of the group immediately think they are doing something wrong. They begin to think they lack basic ability, and therefore cannot keep up with their group. In time, if they continue believing this, they fall into the age-old trap of believing they can never learn to visualize properly, and therefore never develop themselves significantly. And belief is a powerful thing indeed. A similar problem arises when neophytes are exposed to more advanced students, or to those who have realized visualization is actually the constructive use of imagination. These people, even though they do not truly see anything when they visualize, always use visual terms when describing their visualizations or extrasensory perceptions. For example, the terms I can see, I saw, I see, I am seeing are all visual terms commonly used in development groups today. These visual terms are also habitually used throughout the New Age movement, even though in the vast majority of cases nothing is actually seen in any kind of visual way. For visualization, more accurate terms like I sense, I feel, I perceive, or I am imaging should be used instead, but are usually not. Be this as it may, these visual terms are now common usage and will continue to be used. But keep in mind just what visualization really is and what it is not. And please spread the word to all who will listen. Because of the above problems and misconceptions, there are a great many people today who have become developmentally withdrawn. They think themselves incapable of serious progress simply because they believe they lack real visualization ability. Most people faced with this dilemma continue to go along to their development groups. Anyway, they pretend and intimate they can see what they visualize and never mention their embarrassing problem. They do this so no one will think they have abnormally low natural ability, lacking what they have been led to believe is basic visualization ability. Now, here's the other big part of this problem. All energetic stimulation, manipulation, and development techniques taught today are totally reliant upon visualization. If anyone has any problems with visualization, they cannot use any visualization-based techniques properly, and given no viable alternatives, they cannot develop themselves properly. The solution to all these problems is to understand just what visualization is and how it really works. Once this is done, everyone becomes equal in visualization-based development exercises. This allows everyone to develop themselves to whatever level they aspire to. I believe and fully intend to show here that everyone, without exception, can visualize easily and perfectly if taught correctly. The development exercises and techniques given in this book are not based on visualization. Instead, a concise non-visual imaging system called tactile imaging is used. This is based on the active use of body awareness, using the sense of touch and feel. These techniques are very easy to learn and use. They are also far more effective than visualization-based techniques could ever be. A person who actually sees what they visualize may be at a slight disadvantage when they first start using non-visual tactile imaging techniques and procedures given here. That is, if they do not change their way of doing things, they will have to stop trying to visually see what they are doing and start feeling what they are doing with their body awareness for these techniques to work effectively. This means that if you cannot visualize very well and cannot actually see what you visualize, you are going to do very well indeed with these new techniques. Concise use of imagination. Without exception, every person is capable of easily creating the most complex scenarios in their mind's eye. I have asked many people who have claimed they cannot visualize if they ever fantasize or daydream or imagine things. The answer is always a resounding yes. Everyone is perfectly capable of using their imagination to build detailed fantasies in their mind's eye, even though they claim not to be able to visualize effectively, as discussed above. So let's get something straight here once and for all. Imagination is visualization. Visualization is imagination. These are one and the same ability. Memory plays an important part with imagination. Have you ever lost anything? Your keys, a pen, your koala? money, etc. If you have, after searching vainly for the item, you probably tried to recreate recent actions in your mind's eye to help remember where you lost the item. You would have replayed these actions in your mind's eye, going over your every step. Recreating actions and events like this is pure mind's eye imaging. Constructive use of imagination, based entirely upon memory. This is perfect visualization, and everyone has a natural ability to do this whenever they want, perfectly and with no training at all. As an explanatory exercise, get up and go to the kitchen, get a drink of water, and then return to where you are. Now, as you do this, take note of everything you do and see and feel along the way. After you have done this, sit down and close your eyes and relax for a moment. Remember what you just did from the very beginning. Recreate this entire sequence of actions with your imagination in your mind's eye. It is important to feel everything as if you were actually doing it. This is exactly like creating a fantasy based upon real-life events. Remember yourself getting out of the chair and standing, and how the room looked as it moved around you as you turned. Remember your steps as you walked towards the kitchen, what you saw and felt when you arrived. Remember how your hand looked and felt as it reached out for a glass, filling and drinking it, and how the water tasted, smelt, and felt. Remember returning the glass and walking back to your original position and then sitting down again. Do this in real time, taking roughly the same length of time recreating this in your mind's eye as it took you to actually do it. With the above exercise, you are recreating and replaying remembered actions in your mind's eye. You will not actually see these actions, but you will be able to perceive them clearly in your mind's eye. This is exactly like any fantasy created in your mind's eye. And you can almost see a good fantasy, they can be that realistic. Fantasy is the constructive use of imagination, something more commonly called visualization. Once again, relax and close your eyes before starting the next exercise. I want you to construct a completely fictional scenario in your mind's eye with all the necessary parts taken solely from your memory. I want you to remember to fantasize brushing your hair. Rehearse this in your mind's eye, without actually doing it. Imagine there is a table in front of you with a hairbrush lying atop it. Carefully feel yourself reaching out and taking the imaginary brush and lifting it slowly to your head. Start brushing your hair. Feel your arm and hand moving as you do this in your mind's eye. Feel your hand dragging the brush repeatedly through your hair. Imagine what the brush feels like as it moves through your hair and tingles your scalp. Finally, return the imaginary hairbrush to the imaginary table and relax. You must feel all these movements as you construct them in your mind's eye. Do not physically move or try and actually see anything happening in your mind's eye. Imagine and fantasize and feel and perceive them as happening in a real-time frame. You successfully created a concise construction of pure imagination in your mind's eye in the above exercise. From now on, when doing any visualization or constructive imagination exercise, no matter how lengthy or complex it might be, it is simply an extension of what you are doing in these exercises. This is also how you follow a led meditation, where a voice leads you through a fantasy, like the ones above and below, while music and special effects stimulate your imagination and transport your mind there. You don't actually see what you visualize or imagine, but you have an incredibly detailed awareness and perception of it all the same. Note, some of these early exercises may cause slight feelings of vertigo or a localized dizziness in the stomach, lower chest areas, and even bone-deep tickling sensations in the arms and legs. These exercises tend to move body awareness outside the bounds of the physical body. This affects the etheric body and will often cause energy movement sensations like these to be felt. If done in the trance state, they can also cause an out-of-body experience, or OB, to occur. For more information on this aspect, see the treatise on OB, available on author's website. Or better yet, get hold of a copy of the author's book, Astral Dynamics. Astral Dynamics contains an illustrated version of the new Energy Ways system, but this is written specifically for OB training and does not cover the other aspects of the new system, i.e., self-healing. One last constructive imagination exercise. With your eyes closed, remember what it feels like to walk barefoot across a beautiful lush lawn on a lovely sunny day, with trees and shrubs and flowers all around you. Construct this from your memories, in your mind's eye, and feel yourself as being there inside your fantasy creation. Remember a time when you actually did something very like this, or remember a scene from a movie or TV that you can use for this purpose. Feel yourself walking across the lawn towards a massive ancient tree, with heavy, leafy branches hanging down all around. Some of these branches are touching the ground. Sense the tree getting bigger and bigger as you approach it. Walking through a small break in the branches, you now move into the restful shade within its stately boughs. You find yourself standing in a secret clearing. You can smell the living wood and leaves of the tree, intermingled with soft, earthy smells like moss, bark, rotting leaves, and damp Earth. Walking closer to the great bole of the ancient trunk, you see the shape of a comfortable-looking chair, molded in the living wood of the massive root structure. Soft green moss is everywhere, and you can feel its friendly touch underfoot. Moving closer, you sit in this great chair and relax, leaning back with hands clasped behind your head. You close your eyes and listen and feel and smell the secret world all around you. You hear the wind gently whispering and murmuring through branches. You hear small birds fluting and insects humming and fluttering all around, calling and chirping sweetly to each other. Smell and feel the wind, the flowers, the tree, the leaves, the moss and the grass all around you. Sit here a while, feeling totally relaxed and at peace with the world, letting all your cares and problems drift away into nothingness. After a timeless moment, you take a deep breath and return to your other reality, gently stirring your physical body back into wakefulness. You have just successfully constructed a very complex and detailed fantasy scene in your mind. This was full of actions, sights, sounds, smells, and tactile perceptions, based entirely upon your memory, and constructed with imagination. This is exactly what you need to do when you follow a led meditation, where a voice leads you through a fantasy scenario like the one above, while music and special effects stimulate your imagination and transport your mind there. You don't actually see what you are visualizing or imagining, but you can create an incredibly detailed awareness and perception of it all the same. Non-sighted advice. If you are blind and cannot imagine in a sighted way, please adapt and convert all the exercises within this tutorial to exercises using whatever perceptions you have available: eye, tactile, sound, smell, etc. This can easily be done with any constructive imagination or visualization exercise, as given above. This can be done with any led meditation containing sighted details and instructions. Replace colors, scenes, and sighted descriptions with something from your own non-sighted perception memory. Use your own remembered perceptions of a lovely walk you have taken in a park or in the countryside, and simply adapt the exercise to suit. Take advantage of your enhanced perceptions of sound, smell, texture, taste, and of spatial awareness. Chapter 3. Mobile Body Awareness. Your body's point of awareness is normally centered in the eyes. This is its natural location, but it does not have to stay there. Mobile body awareness is the ability to move and focus body awareness upon any specific part of the physical body. Being able to do this is very simple and easily learned, but is an extremely important skill, combined with other techniques. This enables the dynamic manipulation of the energy body, its energy centers. This allows specific parts of the energy body to be directly stimulated, and the flow of energy increased in a controlled and deliberate way. Note, with all the coming exercises, a deep level of relaxation or the trance state are not required. Light relaxation is quite adequate. Just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and allow your mind to wind down and settle for a few moments and begin. This is all that is required. I also suggest that you do not use a bed for these early exercises unless you have to. Sit in a comfortable armchair with your shoes off. Place a cushion under your feet. Wear loose clothing and do not cross your legs. But this is not mandatory, and if an armchair cannot be used, please adapt and use whatever is necessary or available. For example, if you have spinal injuries, as I do, sometimes it may be physically impossible to sit upright. Targeting and highlighting. With all the coming exercises, lightly scratch or rub specified body parts as needed. This is a learning aid which helps highlight and target specific areas on the physical body. Body awareness can then be focused more easily and accurately. Use a small stick or ruler if you have difficulty reaching some parts of your body. This scratching and rubbing is not necessary when you become used to the technique and can target specific areas with body awareness alone, which for most people does not take very long. Repeat the MBA exercises below without scratching and see how you get on without this aid. Try and do this with your eyes closed so you are focusing with body awareness only, but please use your eyes if you need to. As with scratching, the use of the eyes for targeting should be done away with once this can be comfortably done with body awareness alone. The reason for this is that some of the exercises given later in these tutorials do not allow the use of the eyes for targeting body awareness. Localizing body awareness. To demonstrate shifting your center of body awareness and targeting specific areas on the body, please do the following exercises. Lightly scratch the skin of your left knee with your fingernails to highlight it. Do this just hard enough to leave a slight tingling sensation there after you stop scratching. Close your eyes and feel for this tingling area with your body awareness. Become intensely aware of that area as you focus on it. Highlight it with your body awareness until it stands out. You will feel your knee tingling and will easily be able to locate. Target it. Feel for this tingling area with your body awareness alone. With your sense of touch, your sense of feel, focus on the target area and forget about the rest of your body for a moment. Move your knee slightly and feel for more of the same knee and become aware of it as a whole joint. Feel its outline and shape and really get the feel of it with your body awareness. Your center of body awareness is now focused entirely in your left knee. Shift your point of awareness to your right knee, scratching it first to highlight it. Feel its shape with your awareness. Your center of body awareness is now focused entirely in your right knee. Shift your point of awareness to your right big toe. Scratch it on top of the large joint where it joins your foot. Wiggle your big toe to help get the feel of it, so you can zero in on it with your awareness. Feel the tingle on top of it, then feel its shape with your awareness. Your center of awareness is now focused entirely in your right big toe. Shift your body awareness to several other parts of your body, highlighting them first by light scratching. Feel these areas as you target them with your new sense of now mobile body awareness. Increasing body awareness sensitivity. To improve body awareness sensitivity, do the following exercises as often as you can until you get the hang of it. They will progressively improve your body awareness sensitivity, which is extremely important for later exercises and techniques within these tutorials. When first learning to move a point of body awareness through the surface of your body, it helps if you trace the pathway along your skin with fingertips or a paintbrush to highlight the path your point of awareness will be taking. This teaches your body awareness the pathway, making it easier to follow this with a point of awareness alone. If this is not enough, lightly scratch a small pathway along your skin with your fingernails or a ruler to highlight it more strongly. Follow the slight tingling sensation this leaves behind on your skin with a point of awareness alone. For tracing and learning wider energy pathways, they can be stroked repeatedly with a hand or a paintbrush. Be used of an appropriate size. You can do this by yourself or have a partner do it for you while you follow sensations caused by this touch with your point of body awareness. To start with, I suggest tracing a pathway from the base of your left thumb along the sensitive inside of your arm and on up to your left shoulder. Close your eyes and concentrate on the feel of the brush or fingers touching and moving along the surface of your skin. Ignore the hand doing the brushing and concentrate solely on its touch. Repeatedly stroke this pathway from thumb to shoulder and back to your thumb again, following this with your body awareness until you have a good feel for the action. Repeat the above exercise with your right arm. Next, trace and follow a path from your left big toe, up over your foot to your ankle, up the outside of your shin to your kneecap, and on up the outside of your thigh to your left hip joint, then back down to the same big toe again. Repeat the above exercise with your right leg. Practice this technique until you can trace a pathway to anywhere on your body with a point of body awareness alone, feeling your way along the surface of your skin without having to follow a manually highlighted pathway. Please rub and scratch and highlight, however, as often and for as long as you need to while learning this technique. If you are training with a partner, you can help each other by stroking and brushing each other's body to stimulate pathways, or with a slow, stroking massage. Massage is a good way of learning how to focus and move body awareness. Have your partner give you a massage and follow the touch of their hands with a point of awareness. Have them trace pathways up your legs and arms and up your back, following their touch. It may help if they use only one hand at a time, at least to start with, making it easier to follow their touch with a point of awareness. Soon you will progress to being able to split your awareness and work with 2 points or more body awareness at the same time. MBA. Exercise. Focus a point of awareness in your right knee until you can feel it well. Slide your center of awareness slowly down the outside of your right shin. Keep your awareness moving until your center of awareness comes to your right foot. Move your awareness slowly out to your right big toe. Feel this toe with your awareness. Wiggle it a little and make sure you can really feel it and are targeting it well. Move your point of awareness to the toe next to it and feel its shape and outline. Tense, move, wiggle, touch, or scratch each toe as needed to highlight and target each of them one at a time. Next, move your awareness across to your left foot and feel your whole foot with your awareness. Flex and tense your foot slightly to get the feel of it as a whole. Now center your awareness in your left big toe. Slide your awareness back to your ankle and then slowly on up over your left shin until it comes to rest in your left kneecap. Keep it moving, sliding up your thigh to your left hip, and then slowly on up the left side of your body until you come to your left shoulder. Move your awareness down the outside of your left arm, moving slowly past your elbow to your left hand. Feel your whole left hand with your awareness. Move and center your awareness in your left thumb. Feel its shape and outline with your awareness. Wiggle it a little if you need to highlight it. Feel all your other fingers, one at a time, with your awareness. You have just moved your center of body awareness all around your body, targeting and focusing a point of body awareness in many parts of it. Without knowing it at this stage, you have also been stimulating your energy body in the process. As your center of awareness moved through the surface of your energy body equals etheric body. You may have felt some peculiar tingling, fuzzy, or Heavy sensations. These are caused by energy movement within your energy body. They are quite normal for this type of awareness exercise. In order to effectively stimulate your energy body, it is necessary to be able to focus your point of awareness at a single point on your body, and then to move and manipulate that point of awareness. This is done with active body awareness with something I have called tactile imaging. Tactile imaging is very easy to learn and use. You have already learned the skills required for it and will soon get the hang of it. It just takes a little practice. Chapter 4. Tactile imaging. Tactile imaging is the active use of body awareness. This is used to directly stimulate and manipulate the energy body in a controlled way. TI is a simple extension of MBA and is very easy to learn and do. When body awareness is focused in a specific area and that point of awareness is given motion, this motion stimulates the energy body in that area. When this motion is done at the site of a primary or secondary energy center, that energy center will be directly stimulated. Individual energy centers can thus be targeted and stimulated in a strong and dynamic way using tactile imaging. Tactile imaging exercises are only a little different from the simpler MBA exercises given earlier, where body awareness is moved along the skin from one place to another. The only difference here is that your point of body awareness is often focused on a specific area, and a variety of repetitive body awareness actions are used to further stimulate that area. Note, focus body awareness alone on the specified target area and try not to use your eyes unless you really have to. Many people, however, find they cannot learn TI techniques without using their eyes for targeting. Do what is necessary for as long as you need to, but try and wean yourself off using your eyes as soon as you can. Many of the more advanced exercises and techniques given later in this tutorial do not allow the use of the eyes or any other form of targeting or highlighting aid. The best way to learn tactile imaging is by doing it. Rest your hands comfortably in your lap or on the arms of your chair, palms down and fingers slightly spread. Close your eyes and relax, then shift your point of body awareness to the base of your right thumb, top side. There is an important secondary energy center, small chakra, in each of the thumb joints, and you are now going to stimulate one of them. Most people will feel one of their thumb centers activate noticeably the first time they work on it. The area to be worked on first is on top of the large joint where the thumb joins the right hand. If you have trouble locating this joint, flex your thumb while pressing this joint between your other fingers until you can feel it. Lightly scratch a circular area clockwise on top of the thumb joint, approximately ½ an inch across, to highlight it with your awareness. Slowly trace a fingertip around this same circular path while following this touch with your point of awareness. That point of touch must become your point of awareness. Continue following this action until you can remember the exact feel of this circular movement and can recreate this action with your point of awareness alone. Feel the tingling target area on top of your thumb joint with your point of awareness. Recreate and feel this circular action inside your skin. Move your point of awareness in a small clockwise circle in that area, as if you were stirring it with an imaginary pencil or awareness fingertip. Concentrate and feel this action, continuing the motion with your point of awareness alone. Keep stirring this center around and around, with 1 or 2 circling actions per second. After a short time, this action will gain its own momentum. It will then become almost automatic and take very little effort to continue. After a while, you should begin feeling a slight localized heaviness or pressure, or a tingling, buzzing, or bone-deep tickling or fuzzy sensation in your thumb joint and thumb. This sensation indicates the energy center there has been successfully stimulated into increased activity. Once you feel this, immediately move on to the next exercise. If you feel nothing after trying for a few minutes, move on to the next exercise anyway. Change the awareness action and move your point of awareness in a straight brushing action, up and down along the top of your right thumb, from just below the joint to just above the nail tip. Move your point of awareness continually back and forth through this area. You are now stimulating your entire thumb, including all the small energy centers within it. Feel this brushing action through the whole of your thumb as you do it. The sensations you may have felt earlier will intensify and spread throughout the whole of your thumb as you do this, as more and more small energy centers there are stimulated into increased activity. Repeat both the above exercise on the thumb of your left hand. Repeat both the above exercise on the big toes of both feet, one at a time. TI stimulation notes. Often, there are inactive secondary energy centers on one side of the body, but rarely on both sides. If you feel nothing after doing any awareness action for several minutes, move on to the next exercise. While energy movement sensations will usually be quite obvious to most people, a few may feel nothing at all, although I have found this to be rare. No sensation at all simply indicates the energy body is for some reason blocked or inactive in that area. If this is the case, please continue with all these early exercises as best you can. You are still stimulating your energy body even though you cannot feel it happening at this point. It is more important to learn and practice these techniques at this stage than it is to cause sensations. Some of the exercises given later on in this book are designed to restore inactive areas and remove energy blockages. Once restored to activity, energy, movement sensations will then be more easily and strongly felt. A hot shower or bath can also help, if done prior to doing these exercises. This not only relaxes the physical body and cleanses the skin, but also promotes a stronger energy flow through the energy body. The tingling in the skin caused by scratching to highlight a target area is not the cause of energy movement sensations. Test this if you wish by repeating the above exercises in the middle of your forearm or bicep where there are no significant secondary energy centers. This test will cause no energy movement sensations to be felt. Alternatively, try this same exercise on another small energy center, but without scratching. It is the movement of a focused point of body awareness through the energy body at the site of an energy center or concentration of energy exchange ports that forces energy movement and causes these sensations to occur. Some of the exercises given later do not allow any kind of manual highlighting, like scratching or rubbing, but energy movement sensations will still be felt. Awareness hands. The most natural way to use your point of awareness is to feel you have an imaginary pair of hands. Awareness hands are the business ends of tactile imaging, especially when it comes to raising energy. These are powerful awareness tools and you will become very familiar with them as we proceed. You will be using your awareness hands in many ways, for raising energy, clearing blockages, and for manipulating many different energy centers. You have already started using these hands in the above exercises. You will soon learn how to use them over larger areas and in many other practical energy-related ways. Awareness hands are extensions of active body awareness. You have a left and a right awareness hand. While the awareness arms themselves are not important, each hand should be felt as being attached to an imaginary awareness arm coming from each of your shoulders. Each hand is related to a different side of your brain. One awareness hand is usually slightly weaker than the other because of this, depending upon which side of your brain is the most dominant. Using awareness hands is very progressive. The more they are used, the easier they are to use and the stronger and more dexterous they become. Awareness hands exercise. The following exercise demonstrates how energy is raised with awareness hands. Close your eyes and relax. While sitting or lying comfortably, take both your awareness hands down to your left foot, as if you were grabbing hold of it. Scratch or rub the top of your left foot and wiggle it a bit to highlight it first. 2. Make this exercise easier. Draw your awareness hands through your left foot to your ankle, and then slowly take them on up through your leg. Feel your whole leg, inside and out, as you move your awareness hands upwards through it. Draw your awareness hands all the way up your shin, through your knee, up, through your thigh and on up to your hip. When you get to your hip, flick your awareness hands instantly back to your toes again and repeat the upward stroking, energy-raising action. Do not stroke your awareness back down your leg. Repeat this action over and over, taking several seconds per stroke, feeling the whole of your leg each time. This action forces energy to flow into your foot and up through your leg. You may feel some peculiar sensations as you do this, like tingling, buzzing, warmth, cold, pressure, heaviness, or even a bone-deep tickling. These sensations can be unbelievably strong in some people. Repeat the above exercise with your right leg. Splitting awareness. Splitting awareness actions is quite simple to do. As an example exercise, split your awareness hands and feel both of your feet at the same time, feeling one in each of your awareness hands. Draw energy through both feet and up through both legs at the same time, exactly as you did with the previous exercise, repeatedly. Your awareness will split quite easily, and with a little practice you'll be able to do this effortlessly. If you have trouble splitting awareness, however, please stick to working on one area or limit time until you feel more comfortable splitting awareness actions. When you have some practice at splitting awareness actions, increase the speed of the upwards energy raising action until you can draw your awareness up through both legs at the same time, taking 2 to 3 seconds for each upward sweep, from feet to hips, repeatedly. When you raise energy up both legs, imagine and feel as if you are sweeping or sponging water up through the whole of both legs with your awareness hands. Imagine your awareness hands are each holding a large sponge, and that you are sponging water upwards through your legs. The water keeps trying to run back down your legs, but focused awareness effort and concentration can be used to force the water to rise. This addition will give your awareness hands a better feel and grip on the energy, which increases the effectiveness of the energy-raising action. It is more beneficial to be able to use one point of body awareness effectively in these early exercises than it is to be able to split awareness. So if you have trouble with split awareness actions, please stick to using both hands together, working on only one body part or limb at a time until you feel more comfortable with split awareness actions. Chapter 5. Energy Body Stimulation. 5 tactile imaging actions are needed to stimulate the energy body. Whether you are working on secondary or primary energy centers, or simply raising energy, variations of these same basic techniques are used throughout. With all of these techniques, hold your awareness very close, just inside your skin at the site of the area being worked on. Scratch or rub each energy center or energy pathway as needed to help target it and make it easier to follow with your awareness alone. 5 awareness actions. 1. Stirring action. Move your point of awareness in a clockwise circle through the surface of your skin. This is as if you were stirring the target area with a single finger of one of your awareness hands. The size of this stirring action should be varied to suit the size of the energy center or area being stimulated. This action can be counterclockwise if preferred, or if it seems to work better for you in that way. Do not be afraid to experiment with this. 2. Brushing action. Move your point of awareness back and forth through the skin as if brushing that area with a paintbrush. The size of this awareness brush is to be varied to suit the task at hand. 3. Wrapping action. Move your point of awareness around the targeted area or joint, as if wrapping an imaginary bandage around it, over and over. The size of this action is to be varied to suit the task at hand. 4. Tearing action. Use your awareness hands in a two-handed tearing action. Imagine you are holding a small bread roll or cake or donut on the skin, or just under it. Feel your awareness hands repeatedly tearing it apart with your hands, over and over. The size of this tearing action is to be varied to suit the task at hand. This action is mainly used on primary energy centers, but can also be used as an alternative method for stimulating other areas. 5. Sponging action. Imagine and feel your awareness hands are holding a large sponge, and that they are sponging water upwards through the entire area being worked on. This is the basic whole of limb energy raising action. It can be used to sponge energy up just one side of a limb, but is primarily used for raising energy through the whole a limb or body part. This action is normally only used for energy raising. For example, if raising energy through a leg, feel as if that whole leg were being sponged, as if using a large invisible sponge through the whole leg to make water move upwards through it. Note, with all the above awareness actions, it is the action of feeling your point of body awareness moving through your physical body that stimulates the energy body enmeshed within it. This motion causes energetic stimulation and movement within the energy body itself. Imagine the awareness action is causing a kind of ripple wave effect in the energy body whenever it moves through it. New instructional notes. The new system does not require a deep level of relaxation, or even a great deal of preparation for that matter. Once these techniques have been learned, it is possible to raise energy at any time, even while traveling, walking, talking, working, watching TV, or etc. For all the following training exercises, use a normal level of light relaxation only. The exceptions to this is where problems are encountered getting the new system to work, or where stubborn blockages are being cleared, or where the primary energy centers are being worked on. I recommend sitting in a comfortable chair with your legs resting reasonably straight and slightly out in front of you, and with bare feet. Place a pillow or cushion under your feet. Do not sit cross-legged during training sessions, as this makes awareness targeting and learning how to raise energy more difficult than it needs to be. Once these techniques have been learned, you can return to a cross-legged position and adapt these techniques to suit yourself. But for now, just relax and take a few deep breaths. Generally settle yourself and begin exercises. Do not wear any tight clothes, especially on legs, as this will cause body awareness sensations that will interfere with awareness targeting and energy movement in that area. I advise bare feet or loose socks. Shoes and tight socks can also cause slight pressure sensations that will interfere with awareness targeting stimulation actions. When secondary energy centers or groups of exchange ports are found not to respond, continue on with next exercise anyway, after working on them for the suggested length of time. Do not stop your progress and concentrate solely on a seemingly blocked area. Work on these and then move on to the next exercise. Working around blockages in this way helps increase the flow of energy through and around them, which helps to energize and clear them in a roundabout way. I suggest eyes are kept closed and that they are not be allowed to look towards the target area being worked on. I have found that looking towards the target area, even from behind closed eyes, tends to dilute the feeling and effectiveness of awareness actions. For all the above, some people have reported difficulty learning to focus their awareness without using their eyes to aid targeting and awareness actions. It is therefore permissible to have eyes open and to use them to aid awareness targeting and awareness actions by looking at the area being worked on. I suggest both methods be tried to find which is most effective for you during the crucial learning stages. If the eyes are used, though, again, I suggest once these techniques have been learned you wean yourself off using them as soon as possible. Many of the coming exercises in these tutorials do not allow the eyes to be used in this way. While deep physical relaxation or the trance state are not necessary for the new system, if you have difficulty feeling and stimulating your energy body while learning the system, some preliminary deep physical relaxation and trance work will usually help overcome problems. Caution: the new system has minimal side effects if used correctly. If, however, at any time while using the new system, energy-related symptoms arise that are disturbing or worrying, please stop using it immediately. The general rule for dealing with any problems that may arise while doing any type of energy work is to stop it. Take a break from all energy-related development exercises, including trance work. These should be returned to only when symptoms of the original problem are no longer apparent. A break, from a few days to a few weeks, will solve most energy-related problems completely. If problems reoccur when the new system is returned to, though, take another longer break. Continue this process until the problem reduces to a tolerable level or disappears altogether. If worse comes to worse and a particular problem continually recurs, skipping the exercise that seems to be causing it will help by working around problem area until it repairs itself, develops and settles down. Preliminary stimulation. Some of the early development exercises in the new system appear to be fairly laborious, but this work is only done in the very early stages. They yield great rewards by way of clearing blockages and increasing energy flow, so are well worth doing. This is real energetic development work in the truest sense of the word, and everyone has to start at the very beginning here. With a little individual attention, the smaller energy centers quickly become awareness and energy sensitive, and will soon begin responding in progressively larger groups. Much less effort will then be required to stimulate large groups of them into activity. Once they are properly sensitized, a few simple waves of awareness will be found to stimulate large groups of energy centers and exchange ports. For example, both feet can be made to respond energetically, with just a few passes of awareness through the whole of both feet, as opposed to the early work of stimulating dozens of smaller centers in each foot, one at a time. The early stimulation exercises given here are specifically designed to isolate and stimulate individual energy centers and small clusters of energy exchange ports. Picking through them like this, one bit at a time, allows blocked areas to be identified so they can be cleared, repaired, redefined, and strengthened. Each successfully cleared and stimulated area increases the flow of energies into and through the energy body significantly. This level of energy work, while admittedly seeming a little tedious in the early stages, is very progressive. The energy body has a memory and learns and adapts very quickly. Individual secondary centers and energy exchange ports do not have to be worked upon every time, only in the early stages. This preliminary work must be continued, however, until these smaller centers begin to respond in larger groups. Redefining energy pathways. Connecting energy pathways in the energy body can become blocked and narrowed to the point where they become virtually disconnected. Just as the physical body can malfunction in specific areas, energy pathways can be healed and redefined by repeatedly drawing energy into, through, and around them. The energy body, like the physical body, learns quickly and develops a kind of energy memory of often repeated awareness actions. As energy is consciously drawn through the energy body, energy pathways become highlighted in the energy body's substance. The more often energy is drawn through them, the stronger and more well-defined they become, and the more energy can thus be drawn through them. Chapter 6. Feet and Leg Development. The preliminary stimulation and development work on the feet and toes in this section is vital to the new energy ways system. Like roots are to a tree, toes are important parts of the powerful energy structures within the feet. Each joint and each toe contains a secondary energy center, with 4 poles flowering on the skin's surface. These are connected to the heavy concentration of energy exchange ports which exist on the underside of the feet and toes. As energy-raising structures, the feet are bases for the largest and strongest energy conduits into the energy body. They are therefore the most important energy structures to stimulate, condition, and develop, especially in the early stages. The following exercises must be done thoroughly if energy flow is to be significantly increased. 1 foot will normally activate easier than the other, usually the left foot. It may take several sessions before the less active side begins to respond in the same way. If you feel no sensation in either big toe with first exercise below, this simply means both these areas are currently inactive. It does not mean that other toes will not respond, or that the new system will not work for you. It will. These sluggish areas will progressively clear as the individual parts of larger energy structures are cleared. If nothing is felt, after spending several minutes working on each big toe, continue on with the next step in these exercises. Regardless, in the very beginning, spend at least 2 or 3 minutes on each big toe joint center or until they begin to respond well. Once a toe center begins to respond, immediately move on to the next joint center exercise. Toe work. Toe exercise 1. Awareness. Target the top of the joint of your left big toe where it joins your foot. This is the second joint. In from the toenail, press your finger into this area, and the slight bony lump you feel there is the top of the joint. This is the site of the first energy center to be worked on. Give this area a light scratch or rub with your fingernail to highlight it until it tingles slightly. Use a clockwise stirring action, approximately 1 inch in diameter, depending upon the size of your big toe, of course. Slowly scratch or trace this circle on your skin and follow this action with your point of awareness until you can recreate the exact feel of the stirring action needed there. If you have trouble reaching and touching this area, use a pencil, ruler, or artist's paintbrush for this purpose, or have someone else do it for you. Concentrate on feeling this stirring action inside your skin. Keep stirring with your point of awareness until you feel a slight buzzing, fuzzy sensation or localized pressure in the joint and around that area. When this center is successfully activated, the sensations caused by it can be quite noticeable. Repeat this process on top of the next big joint out towards the toenail on the same big toe. Repeat the above exercise on both joints of the right big toe. Use the brushing action on both big toes, one at a time. Feel this action as if you were brushing a 1-inch paintbrush back and forth through the top of each big toe, from the tip of each toenail to a couple of inches past the big joint where it joins the foot. Use the wrapping action and wrap both big toes thoroughly, one at a time. Use the sponging action through the whole of each big toe, one at a time. Try splitting your awareness and brushing or sponging both big toes simultaneously. Toe exercise 2. Use deep brushing and sponging actions only on every other lesser toe, starting with the toe next to the big toe. On your best foot, spend slightly more time on the least unresponsive foot and on any unresponsive toes to help free them up. Note, the deep brushing and sponging actions are the only actions normally used on all the lesser toes along their entire length from the tip of the toenail to a couple of inches past where they join the main foot. The stirring and wrapping actions are not normally used on these. The reason for this being that most people have difficulty awareness targeting small parts of their lesser toes, and the brushing and sponging actions usually provide adequate stimulation. Toe exercise 3. Using a slightly wider brushing action and starting with your best foot again. Brush your awareness across the entire tops of all your toes at the same time, from side to side, from big toe to small toe, back and forth. Feel this wide brushing action penetrating deeply into all your toes. This will stimulate all the toes of each foot with a single awareness action. Repeat this action on your other foot. Try splitting your awareness at this point, and repeating the side-to-side brushing action across all the tops of all toes of both feet at the same time, in whatever way or direction is felt as being the easiest. Opposing directions are fine, with the split awareness actions meeting in the middle if your feet are resting together. Sole work. The entire underside of the feet and toes are covered with a high concentration of energy exchange ports. These form the outer layer of the complex exchange energy structures within the feet. The soles are thus extremely important to energy flow, and these exercises should be done as thoroughly as possible. Sole exercise 1. Awareness. Target the middle of the sole of your left foot. Scratch or rub this area if you need help targeting it. Use a small clockwise stirring action, about 1.5 inches in diameter, and circle your point of awareness there continually. Next, move this continuing stirring action slowly over the undersurface of your foot and all toes. Keep this stirring action going at all times, covering that entire area thoroughly. Continue this mobile stirring action until you have covered the entire underside of your foot several times, including the underside of all toes and the heel. This awareness action is a little like you are using a small rotating electric massager. Spend at least 5 minutes on each sole with this rotary action, or until the surface of each sole begins to respond well. Sole exercise 2. Using a wide brushing action, as if painting the soles with a large paintbrush. Brush awareness back and forth, from heels to toes, covering the entire underside of each foot deeply with the brushing action, 1 foot at a time. Try splitting awareness and repeating wide brushing action on soles of both feet at same time. Feet and sensations. Working on the undersides of the feet will usually cause some pretty major energy movement sensations therein. These can be uncomfortable, even a little painful, especially in the very early stages of these development exercises. Unfortunately, this cannot be helped. They must be tolerated and accepted as the price for development. Intense buzzing, tingling, and bone-deep, vibrating energy movement sensations will often be felt. These may continue for some time. even after the awareness actions which caused them have been discontinued. This will sometimes be accompanied by nervous twitching and spasming in the feet and legs, and this can also be quite intense. Occasional hot or cold burning spots and heavy, fuzzy patches inside the feet and legs can also be felt, indicating blocked and damaged areas. All the above sensations are quite common and should be considered as being perfectly normal for this type of energy development work. The degree of sensations felt indicates the degree of resistance to the energy being raised. Energy movement resistance sensations are caused by larger than normal amounts of energy being forced through narrowed energy pathways and conduits. This causes overstimulation of the physical body's nerves and the skin and surrounding tissue related to affected energy pathways. Strong energy movement sensations should be ignored as much as possible, and the exercise is continued with unless it becomes unbearable. If sensations become too strong for comfort, try and move on to the next exercise and ignore the strong sensations until they settle down. If these sensations go way beyond acceptable comfort levels, however, immediately discontinue all awareness exercises and wait until they completely settle down before continuing. If this is the case, I suggest you wait until at least the next day before continuing to give them a chance to settle down and adapt. These sensations will usually be significantly reduced the next time you work on the affected area. Strong sensations are, however, a very good energetic symptom. They indicate a strong energetic flow potential through the affected area. Sensations will normally ease off gradually, usually over 5 or 10 minutes, sometimes a little longer, and walking will usually help ease them. On the other hand, if only very mild sensations are felt, this can also indicate a naturally strong, pre-existing energetic flow. If this is the case, there may be significantly less energy resistance and thus reduced energy movement sensations will be felt. If no sensations are felt at all, however, then severe bioenergetic inactivity and widespread blockages should be suspected. Extra work will be required to clear these. Actual physical pain is fairly rare, but intense hot or cold or painful aching spots, plus occasional sharp needle-like pains, are not uncommon. These indicate particular types of energy blockages, which will usually reduce in severity only gradually as they are progressively cleared. It is a good idea to take extra good care of your feet and hands, at least while doing these exercises. I recommend this become a habit for anyone doing serious, long-term energetic development. If you have difficulty getting foot energy moving, try soaking them in warm to hot water and then scrubbing them with a nail brush, paying particular attention to soles and heels. Scrub feet until they tingle slightly, then dry and rub some light body oil or cream into them. This extra attention will make you more aware of your feet, as the tingling sensation caused by this kind of attention will last for some time. This also helps with awareness targeting during further feet and toe stimulation exercises. The application of essential oils, plus massage and reflexology techniques, can also be a great help with activating or clearing energy blockages in the feet. If there is a buildup of hard skin on the feet, it should be removed, or a podiatrist consulted for same. Heel work. Heels contain large energy structures, and it helps if you do some extra work on these separately and more deeply with a large stirring action, on top of the stimulation work done on them during the rotary sole work. Use a large stirring action that covers the whole of each heel for at least 2 minutes. Try splitting your awareness and stimulating both heels together with stirring action. Whole foot work. Using a deep sponging action, draw awareness from tips of toes to heel, back and forth through the whole each foot, 1 foot at a time. Feel this action as filling the inside of the whole of each foot as you do this. Try splitting your awareness and sponging awareness through the whole of both feet at the same time. Ankle work. Spend approximately 20 seconds on each part of this exercise. Use stirring action on inner and outer left ankle centers, on bony lumps of ankle joint, 1 at a time. Use wrapping action around whole of left ankle. Repeat all above exercises on whole of right ankle. Try splitting awareness and wrapping both ankles at the same time. Knee work. Spend approximately 20 seconds on each part of this exercise. Use a large stirring action, then brushing action, on left kneecap. Repeat both above actions on back of left knee joint. Use wrapping action around entire left knee joint. Repeat all the above exercises on right knee joint. Try splitting awareness and wrapping both knee joints together. Leg work. While the legs are extraordinarily complex energetic structures, for development purposes it is easier to consider. There are only 5 main energy pathways in each leg. As a part of the awareness sensitizing and energy blockage clearing process, we will be working on each of the 4 outer pathways until the entire leg begins to respond. A single energy conduit. When this happens, the inner bone marrow core conduit will automatically begin joining in with the flow of energy after they have become more awareness sensitive. both legs will be used together, with a single split awareness sponging awareness action to draw energy into the body with energy raising techniques later in this book. 5 main leg pathways. 1. Front. 2. Rear. 3. Inner. 4. Outer. 5. Internal bone marrow core. Use a wide brushing action on the front of each leg, one at a time. Scratch, rub or stroke the whole leg pathway, being worked upon if required to help awareness target it. Move awareness from the tips of toes, over top of foot, and ankle, up shin to knee, and on up to top of hip joint on each leg, one leg at a time. Stroke awareness steadily, back and forth, up and down, a dozen times each way. Each leg sweep should take approximately 3 seconds for each pass, up or down. This exercise is designed to stimulate that energy pathway there and not to raise energy up through it. This is why awareness is brushed in both directions. Follow this basic procedure for each of the following leg exercises. Repeat the above procedure on the back of each leg, one at a time, from heel to back of knee joint to rear hip joint and then back down again to heel. Repeat this on outer side of each leg, one at a time. Especially pay attention to taking energy from smallest toe through the outer side of foot to heel, to side of ankle, up to side of knee, to top of outer hip joint, and then back down to ankle again. Repeat this on inner side of each leg, one at a time, from big toe through inner side of foot to inner side of ankle, to inner knee, to inner groin crease at the top of each leg, and then back down again. Raise energy with large sponging action through the whole of each leg, feeling all of the leg as you go. Draw awareness from whole of foot through ankle and on up through knee joint to hip, and then back down through whole of leg to foot again. Try splitting awareness and doing this last exercise on both legs at once. Hip centers. There are 4 very large secondary energy center vortexes flowering near the surface in each hip joint. The inner 2 of these are connected to some particularly sensitive energy structures within the groin, including genital primary energy center and its sex organs. These centers are situated at the top of each inner thigh, in creases where the large tendons in the thighs enter the groin on each side. These centers must be handled with care. Please follow the groin crease stimulation exercises exactly as I have outlined them, and heed the cautions given for working on these centers at end of this section. On one hip joint at a time. First use a wide stirring action, 3 or 4 inches in diameter, then a wide brushing action up and down, and then from side to side, on the front part of the hip joint, then on outer part of the hip joint, and then on the rear part of the hip joint. These 3 centers are not overly sensitive like the inner thigh crease centers, and thus no cautions apply. See stimulation once any noticeable energy sensations are felt. With these centers, heavy throbbing and pulsing sensations are commonly felt, as well as buzzing and tingling when active. On each inner groin crease center, first use a stirring action an inch or 2 in diameter. You do not have to spread your legs for this, as awareness will easily move through the flesh on either side of groin crease centers. Next, use a narrow brushing action and move awareness back and forth over the center, stroking through the groin crease as if you were sliding an artist's brush back and forth through it. Cease stimulation as soon as this center shows any sign of becoming active. Finally, use a wrapping action around each entire hip joint, one at a time, taking in all 4 centers of each. This particular awareness action must be done at a slight angle to cover all 4 centers because of the way the hip joint is shaped and may feel a little awkward at first. Just do the best you can with this exercise. Try splitting awareness and wrapping both hips at once in whatever direction is felt as being easiest. Often, split awareness actions, each moving in opposing directions, works better for this. Try using a figure 8 awareness action and stimulating all 8 hip centers with a single action. Caution: groin crease centers. The groin crease centers are the largest, most powerful and sensitive secondary energy centers in the entire body. I do not recommend experimenting with or playing around with these centers, just to see what might happen. These can cause some extremely heavy throbbing and pulsing energetic sensations, which can all too easily spread into the genitals themselves if care is not taken. Do not overdo the stimulation of the inner centers. Once you feel a slight pulsing, throbbing, tingling, or buzzing in them, leave them alone and proceed on to the next exercise. It is quite normal to feel some fairly strong throbbing sensations in the groin crease centers, and even to feel some slight sexual arousal, especially when you first begin working on them. This does not normally cause any problems, so please do not become alarmed unless these sensations become intense or overly distracting. If sexual arousal is felt as starting, immediately move on to the next exercise, as this is a sure sign the groin crease centers have become active. Be aware that overstimulation and overly strong energy movement sensations within the groin crease centers will tend to lock body awareness into the genital area and into the genital primary energy center. If this is allowed to continue, it can cause unusually strong, urgent, and continuing sexual arousal, making further development exercises very difficult at that time. If energy movement sensations do spread into your groin and genitals and appear to be taking hold there, stop what you are doing and force your awareness strongly away from that area. Focus your awareness in your hands. Instead, clap your hands several times, hard, and use the tingling this creates in your palms to help lock body awareness there. Hold awareness strongly in your hands until your point of awareness stops trying to slide back to your genital center. If the above problem continues, get up and go for a short walk and take your mind and awareness off the problem. Walking, jumping, running, clapping hands and slapping arms and face, or any other vigorous exercise will help. If none of these do the trick, take a cold shower or two or soak your feet and hands in iced water, which will normally fix the problem fairly quickly. Return to the groin center exercises during future development session, but be a little more careful next time. However, if overstimulation and genital awareness locking continues to recur at each session, discontinue inner groin crease center work entirely and skip these. In all future development sessions, feet and legs, quick reference guide. 1. Big toes stir both main joints, then brush and wrap whole of each big toe. 2. Lesser toes brushing and sponging actions only used on each of these. 3. All toes wide brushing action across all toes on each foot. 4. Soles mobile rotary stirring action over entire surface of each sole. 5. Soles wide brushing action on each sole. 6. Heels deep, wide stirring action on each heel. 7. Whole foot sponging action through whole of each foot. 8. Ankles stirring action on inner and outer bony sides of both ankle joint. 9. Ankles wrapping action around each ankle. 10. Knees, stirring, brushing, wrapping knees. 11. Legs brush each leg, from foot to hip, both directions. 12. Hips stir, then brush, each hip center. 13. Hips wrapping action around whole of each hip joint. Chapter 7. Hand and arm development. The energy body also exchanges and draws energies into itself through the hands, from a variety of different sources. Rather than overcomplicating matters here, it is best to think of these energies as being simply atmospheric subtle energies. Flow into the feet and legs. The hands, like the feet, contain heavy concentrations of energy exchange ports in palms and undersides of fingers. Hand and arm work. As with the feet and legs, many small areas and individual energy centers in the hands and arms need to be worked through in order to clear blockages, redefine pathways, and generally loosen them up. This early work progressively increases their energetic potential, which increases the amount of energy that it is possible to draw through them. Again, please keep in mind that much of this early work is only done while the new system is being learned. This work is very progressive and large areas will quickly come online. Stimulation then becomes a simpler matter, with large brushing and sponging awareness actions being used to stimulate whole hands, arms in pairs, and in time, these become rapid, whole-of-limb energy sweeping actions. Finger work. Work on each finger, starting with your thumbs, in the same way and in the same order as you did with your toes, on both hands, one at a time. Unlike the toes though, all the finger joints can be effectively worked on with the stirring action, as finger joints are easier to target with awareness than the smaller toe joints are. Using the stirring action on each finger joint should be considered optional, however, and only done if energy blockages are present, i.e., if the fingers and hands cannot be made to respond with brushing, sponging actions. It is easy to tell if any area is not responding, as no energy movement sensations at all will be felt coming from the areas being worked on. You may find it easier to do these early finger and hand exercises if you look at each finger as you work on it. Once these exercises have been done a few times though, please discontinue using your eyes for this purpose. The most important thing here, in the very beginning, is to get your fingers and hands to respond. Work through every joint and knuckle in each hand with the stirring action, starting with the thumb joints, where they join your hands, one at a time. Use the stirring action on top of the joints only, and not on the sides or underneath. If you are having trouble getting your hands working, however, you may like to do both sides and undersides as well. Use the stirring action on all thumb joints, but using it on the finger joints is to be considered optional. Use the narrow brushing action to stimulate the entire length of each finger, one at a time, on top of both hands, from large knuckles to fingertips, for 30 seconds each or until they respond, and for longer if you so choose. Try and feel this action inside the whole of each finger as you do it. Turn hand over and repeat this with each finger and thumb on its underside, in the same way. Use wrapping action around the whole length of each finger, one at a time. The position the hand is held in can be varied to suit what is easiest for you to feel, palm up or down. Use a narrow, overlapping wrapping action, slowly spiraling up each finger length as you wrap it. Continue this for 30 seconds per finger, or until they respond, and for longer if desired. Use a wide brushing action, as if you were using a large paintbrush, and stimulate the back of each hand, covering all fingers from fingertips to a few inches above wrists, one hand at a time, for 30 seconds or more, even if they respond well earlier. Feel this action as if you were drawing your awareness through the whole of each hand. Use wide brushing action across all fingers, from side to side, covering all fingers. Try splitting awareness and repeating the above actions on both hands at the same time. Palm work. As with the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands and undersides of the fingers all contain a high concentration of energy exchange ports. These overlay and feed the complex energy structures within the hands and wrists. Repeat the same process as you did with the soles of your feet, on the palm of each hand, one at a time. First, use a tight, mobile stirring action, moving this action about until you have covered the whole of the palm of each hand, including the underside of all fingers. Next, use a wide brushing action, back and forth, from a few inches above the heel of palm to fingertips, covering the entire surface of palms and undersides of all fingers. Try splitting awareness and brushing both palms together, from above wrists to fingertips. Palm work, as with sole work, can also cause intense energy movement sensations in the palms and fingers. These sensations will usually reduce more quickly than those in the feet. Hand work. Spend at least 20 seconds on each of these exercises. Using a large sponging action, move awareness through whole of left hand, from fingertips to a few inches above wrist, back and forth, feeling whole of hand. Repeat on right hand. Try splitting awareness and sponging through both hands at the same time. Wrist work. Spend at least 20 seconds on each of these exercises. Use a large stirring action, then a wide brushing action, on top of left wrist. Repeat both above actions on underside of left wrist. Use wrapping action around entire left wrist. Repeat all above actions on right wrist. Try splitting awareness and wrapping both wrists together. Elbow work. Spend at least 20 seconds on each of these exercises. Use wide stirring action, then brushing action, on outer left elbow. Repeat both above actions on inner left elbow. Use wrapping action around entire left elbow joint. Repeat all above actions on right elbow. Try splitting awareness and using wrapping action on both elbows together. Shoulder work. Each shoulder carries several large secondary centers, similar to the groin area, but work on these does not carry any cautions. Spend at least 20 seconds on each shoulder exercise. You may find it easier to hold your arms akimbo while working on armpits and wrapping shoulder joints. Use a fairly large stirring action, then brushing action on each of these joint centers. 1. Outer shoulder joint. 2. Armpit. 3. Rear of shoulder joint. 4. Front of shoulder joint. Use wrapping action around entire shoulder joint, with arm held akimbo. Repeat all above exercises with right shoulder. Try splitting awareness and wrapping both shoulders at the same time. Arms akimbo. Arm work. As individual arm pathways are difficult to target, it is more practical to treat these as only two and to work on the inner and outer pathways only. Accuracy is not required for this as long as each pathway covers approximately half of the thickness of each arm, so the whole arm is covered. Move awareness back and forth from fingertips to shoulder a dozen times in each direction for the following exercises. Take approximately 3 seconds over each upward arm sweep and the same down. Along outer left arm, use wide brushing action from fingertips to wrist, to elbow, to outer shoulder. Repeat above on inner left arm, from fingertips, inner wrist, inner elbow to armpit. Repeat on whole of left arm, using sponging action, feeling all of arm, inside and out. Repeat all above exercises on right arm. Try splitting awareness and repeating sponging action with whole of both arms at once. Hands and arms, quick reference guide. 1. Fingers stir each thumb joint, then brush and wrap each finger and thumb joint. 2. Fingers use wide brushing action across all fingers, side to side. 3. Hands wide brushing action along back of each hand, fingertips to wrists. 4. Palms rotary stirring action, then wide brushing action on each. 5. Hands use whole of hand sponging action through both hands. 6. Wrists stir inner and outer, then use brushing and wrapping action. 7. Elbows stir inner and outer, then use brushing and wrapping action. 8. Shoulders stir inner, outer, front, back, then use brushing and wrapping action. 9. Arms wide brushing action along outer, then inner, pathways. 10. Arms sponging action through whole of each arm. Again, please keep in mind here, after working so laboriously and painstakingly through your energy body, that most of the above exercises are only used during early training. The new system is very progressive and large. Parts of your energy body will soon begin responding to single, larger awareness energy sweeping actions. This will become apparent when you start working with some of the more advanced energy-raising practices and full body circuits ahead. Chapter 8. Energy Bounce Techniques. Energy Bounce is a simple but effective awareness technique. It makes use of the awareness resistance factor that occurs when awareness is drawn rapidly through the substance of the energy body. This helps to clear, redefine, and strengthen all energy pathways, including the large, internal bone marrow cores, by forcing energy to move rapidly through them. Awareness resistance factor. When awareness is moved rapidly through the energy body, natural energetic resistance is encountered. This resistance feels as if something is slowing or dragging at the awareness action being used, like you are dragging your awareness through an almost liquid substance. Awareness resistance allows you to feel the substance of your own energy body. Awareness bounce actions create an energetic ripple wave effect through the energy etheric body. This ripple wave causes a gentle disruption within its substance which forces energy movement. This helps clear and develop internal pathways and structures. It can also be said to have the effect of generally loosening up the energy body. As an example, bounce your awareness up and down through the whole of one leg from foot to hip, feeling it moving in both directions, as with the earlier whole of limb sponging exercises. Bounce your awareness from foot to hip and back, rapidly and repeatedly. Your body awareness is capable of lightning fast movements and of flicking from one body part to another instantly, but not so when you are moving it through the energy body in this way. Slowly increase the speed of this leg bounce and you will soon feel resistance to the bounce action. You will find there is a natural speed limit of about half a second each way. If you move faster than this, your awareness will lose contact with the substance of your energy body. Begin flicking from foot to hip and back, while skipping the leg in between. Once this happens, you are no longer driving your point of awareness through your energy body, and are therefore no longer stimulating it. Bounce testing. Whatever part of your body you wish to bounce awareness through, first experiment with the speed, increasing the bounce frequency until resistance is encountered. Once resistance is felt, slow the speed a little until you are quickly and comfortably bouncing through your body while still retaining the feel of body awareness contact. This is the correct speed for the bounce action in that area. Do not count or time this with a watch, just get the feel for what seems like the best speed for you. Bounce actions. Leg bounce. As above, take your awareness through one or both legs, from feet to hips. First test for resistance to gauge correct speed and bounce frequency. Then bounce repeatedly from feet to hips and back to feet again. You will quickly develop a natural rhythm with this action and you will feel the slight dragging effect it has within your energy body. There will often be energy movement sensations in the bounce area, but these are usually fairly mild. Continue bouncing for at least a minute, or for as long as you wish. It's quite a pleasant sensation when you get used to it, and the bounce action will become almost automatic with a little practice. Try splitting awareness and bouncing through both legs simultaneously. Arm bounce. First test for resistance and adjust speed to suit. As above, bounce awareness through one or both arms, from hands to shoulders and back again repeatedly. Try splitting awareness and bouncing through both arms at the same time. An alternative to this is to hold your arms wide and level, and then bounce from one hand to another, with awareness passing through shoulders and chest in between. Spinal bounce. This is a wonderful technique if you suffer back tension or spinal pain. I have a few spinal injuries myself and find this very soothing and healing. Once you master the spinal bounce technique, you can set it in motion, then use your mind for other things, meditation, etc. Only a small part of your awareness is required to keep the bounce action continuing in the background. This technique is beneficial for overall energetic development as it has a gentle stimulating effect on the roots of all primary energy centers. All primary centers apart from the brow and crown centers are rooted within the spine. The spinal bounce technique gently stimulates all these roots without actively stimulating the more sensitive vortex-like structures that flower on the front surface of the human torso. I recommend that serious energy developers spend at least a few minutes per day on this exercise, with particular attention being paid when using the brushing action on the coccyx at the start. I find this exercise is easier to do regularly during pre-sleep each night. This soon becomes habitual, although it can of course be done at any other time as desired. Awareness target the coccyx at base of spine, scratching or rubbing if necessary. Pre-stimulate coccyx with a brushing action for 30 seconds or so. Cease pre-stimulation of coccyx if any erotic symptoms or strong energy movement sensations are felt. Move straight onto the following bounce action if this happens, and be more careful brushing the coccyx next time. If this is the case, reducing the amount of time spent doing this may be wise, or even avoiding the coccyx brushing altogether if it becomes a recurring problem. Move awareness along the full length of spine to just above top of head. Bounce awareness back and forth, from coccyx to head, feeling this up and down the middle of your back, in your spine, all the way. Try and keep this action narrowed to the spine itself. Increase the speed of this action until you encounter resistance, then back off to a more comfortable rhythm, about half a second or so in each direction. Breathe naturally while doing this. If you have spinal injuries, use a blade-like awareness action and slice from side to side, starting at the base of your spine and working your way slowly up your spine. Pay particular attention and spend more time using this slicing action on damaged areas. Full body bounce. The full body bounce takes awareness up and down through the entire body. This can be done while in any position, but is best learned while lying down with arms raised straight above your head. Take your awareness from both feet, up through both legs, hips, torso and spine, head, arms, and all the way to just above your fingertips. Bounce your awareness back and forth, from feet to fingertips, increasing speed until resistance is felt. The bounce rhythm should be fairly quick, 1 or 2 seconds each way, but whatever feels easiest and most natural is best. Try and feel the whole of your body with each full body bounce. This whole body feel does not have to be exact. Just a general feel of your awareness moving through your body is all that is necessary. A variation of the above is with arms resting at sides, where awareness is bounced from feet to just above top of head. This is far more practical while sitting or standing. Chapter 9. Energy Raising and Storage. Feel all the coming awareness energy raising actions as if you were drawing a large sponge up through each pair of limbs and were sponging liquid up through them, feeling the whole of them as you do this. Try and stay as physically relaxed as you can while doing these, but don't worry if you tense up a little or tend to twitch a bit at times. A little physical tension will not interfere with this type of energy raising. In time, you'll learn how to do this while standing, walking, and even running. A deep level of physical relaxation is not required for any of these training exercises, unless physical tension is suspected as interfering with the energy raising process. If tension is a problem, deep physical relaxation and/or trance systems should be practiced first. If awareness cannot be easily split and 2 limbs cannot be effectively worked upon at the same time, it is permissible to work on only one limb at a time. It is much more important to raise some energy than it is to be able to split awareness actions and follow this tutorial exactly as written. Just do your best with all the exercises in this tutorial and adapt them to suit your needs and capabilities. Do not worry if one leg or arm does not appear to respond well. Usually one side of the body will be stronger and will thus be easier to draw energy through than the other. Keep trying with the unresponsive side and continue trying to use arms and legs as pairs when doing these exercises. If one leg or arm is all you can feel, draw energy through it, but do not neglect the unresponsive ones. Unresponsive body parts require more development work and should be concentrated on with the energy blockage clearing exercises given earlier. If unresponsive areas are present, some time should be put aside for extra work on these at the start of each training session. Areas with a weaker flow of energy are signs of energy body inactivity. Regular stimulation will revitalize these areas and the energy pathways therein will widen and redefine, progressively allowing more and more energy to flow through them. In time and with regular development work, the entire energy body will come online and energy flow will steadily become more evenly distributed. Any part of the energy body that feels in any way different from the rest of it should be suspected of having an energy blockage. It should then be treated with appropriate energy blockage clearing exercises. Energy raising. Basic procedures for leg energy raising. There are 2 ways to raise energy into your body, with awareness alone or with awareness aided by the natural breathing action. First, here are the basic procedures for raising energy with awareness alone. These are generally used as a part of the full body circuit or for raising energy to primary energy centers. They are also very useful on their own for when it is impractical to do anything more elaborate. For example, if you are too tired to do anything else and just want to raise some quick energy to empower your sleep and dreams while in the process of falling asleep. Pre-stimulating feet. First, brush back and forth across all toes of one foot with a single wide brushing action for about 30 seconds. Next, use a wide brushing action on the sole, also for about 30 seconds. Finally, draw a deep sponging action through whole of the foot for about 30 seconds. Repeat the above process on your other foot. Split awareness and repeat above sponging action with both feet at the same time, if possible. Continue this process until some activity is felt in one or both feet. If you have no trouble doing this and get a good response, pre-stimulate using split awareness with a whole of feet sponging action only for all future exercises. The most common energy movement sensations felt with this type of pre-stimulation are whole of feet heaviness and fuzziness, with mild overall tingling and buzzing. Splitting awareness, reach down and grab the energy of both feet with your awareness hands and Pull energy upwards. Sponge it up through the whole of both legs to your hips. Feel the whole of your legs. As you do this, the action of feeling awareness moving up through legs forces energy to flow upwards. Through them, take energy up over front of hips and flow this directly into your subnavel energy storage center, midway between belly button and pubic line and 2 inches inside body, depending upon the size of your body, of course. The subnavel target area does not have to be exact, as long as energy is made to flow inside the body somewhere roughly in the middle of the lower navel area. Feel the energy flowing deep into your belly for a moment, feeling your subnavel center sucking it all in, like a vacuum cleaner. Then flick your awareness back to your feet, ready for the next upwards energy raising sweep. Develop a rhythmic drawing action, sweeping and sponging energy upwards through your legs, over it, through the front of your hips, and deep into your subnavel storage center. Take 2 to 3 seconds over each upward sweep, but whatever feels most natural is best. At the end of each upward sweep, flick awareness back to your feet, ready to start over. Alternate legs, if you are drawing energy up through only one leg at a time. When you get a good flow of energy moving, you may feel a slight pulsing, bubbling sensation in your lower navel area. This feels a little like warm, localized stomach wind near the site of the subnavel storage center. The exact site of this sensation varies slightly from person to person, but is usually within a couple of inches of the subnavel storage center. This sensation indicates leg energy is successfully stimulating the subnavel center and being stored therein. Basic procedures for arm energy raising. Energy can also be raised through the arms. This is normally only used as a part of a full-body circuit or for stimulating the higher primary energy centers. However, energy can also be raised on its own in this way when there is a need for it. Position. If sitting in a chair, either hang your arms by your sides or rest them palm upwards on your knees. If you are lying down, lift your hands above the bed, with your elbows resting comfortably beside you on the bed surface while you stimulate your hands. Rest them flat on the bed again once they become active, if you so wish. Natural comfort is the most important thing with these exercises, rather than following every instruction here to the letter. Pre-stimulating hands. Stimulate all fingers with a wide brushing across them, and then both palms with a large brushing action along their length, and then the whole of both hands with a large sponging action, feeling whole of hands, wrists, and all fingers. You can work on one hand at a time, or both, together with a split awareness action. Cease pre-stimulation when energy movement sensations are felt, a heaviness, fuzziness, tingling or buzzing in hands. Split awareness and draw energy through both hands with a large sponging action. Continue this action on up through the whole of both arms to your shoulders, and from there take the energy to the back of your neck. The back of the neck is where it will be joining in with the energy stream being raised through your spine as part of a full body energy raising circuit. If this technique is used on its own, take energy through shoulders, down over chest and stomach, and then take it directly into the subnavel storage center. With a single, sweeping, sponging awareness action, feel the energy flowing into your subnavel center for a moment. Then flick your awareness back into your hands, ready for the next energy raising sweep up through your arms. Use 2 to 3 second upward energy sweeps, flicking awareness back to hands at the end of each upward sweep, ready to start on the next. Raising energy with breathing. Now we get to the part where you start putting all that you have learned into practice and begin storing energy in your subnavel storage center with a full body circuit. A full body circuit stimulates the entire energy body. Using the above 2 basic energy raising techniques, this steadily increases energetic flow and vitality levels while causing widespread bioenergetic development in a safe and progressive way. Breathing creates a natural motion within the energy body, that of something flowing into and then out of it. This creates a natural upwards and downwards, inwards and outwards motion. This is very useful when combined with body awareness-based energy raising techniques. The breathing action also gives energy raising actions a natural rhythm, creating regular energy pulses throughout the energy body. Awareness actions quickly take on their own momentum, which makes them easier to do, especially when used with natural breathing rhythm. Arms and legs. If you are just starting out with these exercises, the first step is to loosen up and stimulate your feet, legs, hands, and arms. Repeat the above 2 sections on basic arm and leg energy raising until you get some energy movement sensation. If nothing is felt, however, continue with the following exercises anyway. Energy will still be drawn into your energy body and stored even if nothing is actually felt. This process also helps stimulate inactive areas into greater activity. Full body storage circuits. 2-part storage circuit. The 2-part storage circuit is a simple procedure designed to take arm and leg energy directly into the subnavel storage center. This soon develops a natural rhythm, making it easier to continue for lengthy periods of time. Feel free to vary the positions of your arms and legs to whatever feels most natural to you. This circuit can be done while sitting, lying down, standing, or even while walking and running, but is best learned while lying down with arms spread wide or extended above your head. I like to use this circuit when I am raising energy outside, e.g., while watching sunrise or sunset. I find there are larger than normal amounts of available energy these times, as well as in other beautiful natural settings. Although this observation may be entirely subjective, if I am alone, I usually stand with legs and arms wide, eyes closed, and feel for the wind with my hands, and then for the earth under my feet, as I raise energy into myself. The only caution here is that large amounts of energy can make you a little dizzy while standing in this position, especially if your eyes are closed. I have staggered and almost fallen over several times while doing this. So please be careful. Use the basic leg and arm energy raising techniques as given above for the below circuit. 1. Before in-breath, center awareness in feet. 2. During the whole in-breath, raise energy up legs and flow it into subnavel. 3. Continue flowing energy into subnavel until in-breath is completely finished. 4. When the in-breath finishes, flick awareness instantly into hands. 5. As out-breath starts, draw energy through arms, down chest, and into subnavel. 6. Continue flowing energy into subnavel until out-breath is finished. 7. At the end of the out-breath, flick awareness back to feet again. 8. Repeat above steps 1-7 continually, settling into a relaxed, natural rhythm. 9. In and out can be reversed for the above sequence, if preferred. 10. If you cannot split awareness, alternate legs and arms, using one limbs at a time. Full body storage circuit. A full body circuit is the end result of all you have learned here so far. This combines awareness energy raising with breathing, as with the above technique, but covers the entire body with a continual flow of energy, rather than having two separate flows. This stimulates the majority of energy conduits, pathways, and energy centers in the entire energy body. It also gently and safely stimulates all primary energy centers, as well as their roots in spine and brain. The full body circuit is the ultimate energy development tool. No matter what part of the energy body being developed for whatever purpose, it will require development of whole body energy circuitry to allow, support, and power it, which the full body circuit provides. The full body circuit should be done, if possible, for a minimum of 15 minutes per day to gain significant long-term benefits. 30 minutes or more is even more beneficial. This exercise can be split into many shorter sessions, if more convenient. Even a 10-second session is valuable. Better use can thus be made of waiting and traveling time, as the full body circuit can be done anywhere, anytime, and in any position. There is no limit to the length of time this can or should be done for, and the more often the better, provided all relevant cautions given here in this tutorial are heeded. With a little practice, the full body circuit will become virtually automatic. It can then be combined with other types of meditation and trance work. Try and make this a part of your daily life, and raise energy as often as possible. If you raise a little energy, even if just 1 or 2 breaths worth every time you think about energy, raising energy will slowly become habitual. If a full body circuit is done for just a few minutes prior to falling asleep, the extra energy raised will increase the vividness and power of your dreams and lucid dreaming. It can also cause more frequent spontaneous out-of-body experiences and make these easier to remember. The extra energy provided by these techniques empowers all subtle and dream bodies alike. The awareness actions used in the full body circuit can be fairly wide and do not have to be narrowed to just the spine. Allow the action to spread out as energy is raised up through your back. Hold awareness close, feeling the movement as you take your awareness down the front of your body. This part of the action can, again, be quite wide and should be allowed to spread out as it descends, then narrowing again slightly as it starts to flow into the subnavel. Use slow, reasonably deep, natural breathing and hold awareness firmly in your body at all times. Stimulate feet and hands and bounce awareness through your whole body a few times before starting. As necessary, the full body circuit can be done in any position, but is best learned while lying on your back with arms resting comfortably at your sides. All preliminary stimulation exercises can be skipped if many short sessions are being done during the day. 1. Before the in-breath, center awareness firmly in feet. 2. During the whole in-breath, raise energy up legs, through hips and spine to back of neck and on up to top of head. 3. Hold awareness firmly in whole top of head and feel energy flowing into and accumulating in the crown center until the in-breath is completed. Note that the crown center is quite large and covers the whole top of head above hairline. 4. As the out-breath starts, sweep awareness down over face, into mouth, down throat and out over chest, then down over stomach, flowing energy deep into subnavel for remainder of out-breath. 5. At the end of out-breath, flick awareness back into feet ready for beginning next in-breath. 6. Repeat the above process continually, settling into a natural rhythm. In and out can be reversed if preferred. If awareness cannot easily be split, again, alternate arms and legs, drawing up one side of body at a time. I. First draw up left leg and left arm to top of head on the in-breath, then down front of body on out. Breath. Next draw up right leg and right arm on in-breath, then down front of body on out breath. Alternate sides with each new breath. Joining arms into full body circuit. Once you are comfortable with the above full body circuit, try and join your arms into the energy flow as well. This increases overall energy flow as well as drawing in different types of energies through your hands. But including your arms in this way should also be considered optional. It can be omitted if you have difficulty with it or find this addition makes the process too complicated. It is far more important to have some kind of a full body circuit that you can use and do well, rather than to literally follow every step of these techniques. During the above full body circuit, as body awareness passes where hands are resting on its way upwards, draw energy in through hands and up arms as well. Raise arm energy in line with the rest of the energy flow. From this point onwards, in one fluid, upwards, whole body energy raising sweep. Feel your arm energy joining into the spinal energy flow at the back of your neck, or just feel it as generally rising with the flow and joining in. This does not have to be exact. Smoothly continue the awareness action upwards into the crown. Center. Continue the full body circuit, as given above, from here on. The only change is the addition of arm energy into the flow with each upward sweep on the in-breath, and everything else stays exactly the same. The continual awareness motion around the body used with the full body circuit does not have to follow an exact path. It does not matter if it wavers slightly this way or that, or if it spreads out or narrows as it moves around your body, as long as you are feeling your energy-raising action moving roughly in line with the procedure given above. This will have a good overall effect on your energy body. If the full body circuit given above does not suit you for some reason, or if you find it too difficult, please feel free to stick with the two-part storage circuit as given earlier. This is a much simpler and easier circuit to do and will have the same general result, i.e., causing whole energy body development. It's more important to have some type of energy circuit that works for you than it is to follow my directions here to the letter. Direct subnaval energy raising. When your body becomes more energy sensitive, say after practicing energy raising for a few weeks, you will find yourself becoming more aware of many other types of subtle energy. You will also become more aware of your subnaval storage center. Once this begins to happen, you will be able to draw energy directly into it through both arms and both legs, all at the same time. When you first start doing this though, it's best to start with only the legs, drawing energy up through them as a pair. The arms can also be used on their own, as a pair, drawing energy in and down to the subnavel. Once each of these methods has been practiced on its own for a while, an attempt can then be made to combine them and draw energy through both arms and both legs simultaneously. This technique is very versatile and can be done anywhere and anytime to take advantage of high energy areas and situations. But this should not be used to replace the full body circuit. Direct energy raising, while effective as an energy raising method, does not cover the entire energy body. This is simply a useful alternative energy raising method. Legs. Pre-stimulate and bounce feet and legs as necessary. Center awareness in subnaval center. While holding this, reach out with more of your awareness and become aware of the whole of both legs and feet. Feel your legs as being attached to your subnaval center, imagining they are part of a large upside-down V with subnaval at its tip. Feel a vacuum-like emptiness in your subnaval center. Feel energy flowing and being drawn up through the whole of both legs simultaneously. Do not brush or sponge your awareness up your legs. Just feel the energy flowing up through them like water under pressure in a continual stream. Feel the energy divided by water flowing deep into your subnavel and being stored therein. Arms. Pre-stimulate and bounce hands and arms as necessary. Center awareness in subnaval. While holding this, reach out with more of your awareness and feel of the whole of both arms and their hands. If your arms are resting at your sides, feel them as being attached to your subnavel, like they are part of a large M. Arms are resting in a raised or other position. Imagine another figure, say a V or a T. Feel a vacuum-like emptiness in your subnavel. Feel energy flowing and being drawn into and through the whole of both arms simultaneously. Do not brush or sponge up your arms, just feel the energy flowing up them. Feel this energy flowing up both arms to the shoulders, and then feel each of these energy streams flowing down over the front of your chest before flowing down into the subnavel. Feel the energy flowing into subnavel and being stored therein. Arms and legs together. Pre-stimulate limbs as necessary. As above, center awareness strongly in subnaval center. While holding this, reach out with more of your awareness and feel the whole of both arms and both legs simultaneously. create a feeling of emptiness in your subnavel, a feeling of vacuum and suction, drawing energy in through both arms and both legs, all at the same time. Feel the energy flowing into your subnavel and being stored therein. All the above actions create a strong energy demand in the subnavel. Energy will be drawn into the body through the hands and feet in response to this energy demand. Again, this should not be used to replace the full body circuit, but can be very useful under certain circumstances. A simple litany can be used each time you do the above to help program your energy body to respond to this subnaval vacuum type energy raising action. For example, I am energy can be repeated slowly and with deep feeling several times, silently, as you center awareness deep within your subnavel and reach out through all your limbs, feeling your subnavel sucking energy into itself from all directions at once. Energy flow and effort. As mentioned earlier, a deep state of physical relaxation or the trance state are not generally required for the new system. Effort can thus be put into awareness actions without breaking any delicate mental state. Once your body becomes more energy sensitive, more effort can be applied to energy-raising actions where necessary. The amount of energy that can be raised is directly affected by the application of will-to-awareness actions. This is particularly useful when there are low background energy conditions, for those times when a greater energy flow is required, and for clearing stubborn, unresponsive, and blocked areas with brute awareness force. For normal energy raising and development, however, I strongly recommend that only a normal level awareness effort be used. This is not only easier, but far more natural, and the result will be a more even and robust development of the energy body as a whole. If too great an awareness effort is used all the time, it will cause too rapid expansion and growth in the delicate bioenergy circuitry of the energy body. This will make developing energy structures too weak, brittle, and delicate to be of much practical use. Forced development through excessive effort grows large but delicate and unstable energy pathways. These will retract back to their original narrowed state fairly quickly, often becoming even smaller than they were before if they are not gently nurtured during their development. Use increased effort to clear blockages and to overcome low background energy conditions, but not for general energy raising and long-term development purposes. And if the flow of energy into the subnaval storage center does not equal the energy expenditure used to raise it, temporary energetic exhaustion can also be the result. This is, though, often an unavoidable side effect during the early stages of energy body development. While blockages are being cleared, redefined, and grown, please keep in mind that when a blockage is cleared, it can often cause high energy usage, far in excess of the amount of energy available or being stored at that time. This can result in fatigue and temporary physical exhaustion, seemingly for no apparent reason. Often more energy is used. This can also cause noticeable energy movement sensations to continue for some time after energy-raising actions are ceased. Energy will, consequentially, sometimes continue flowing into depleted areas because of continuing energy demands. Therein, blockages can also clear themselves spontaneously as a result of earlier development work, for no apparent reason. Because of this, you may experience energy movement sensations outside of development session times, say in the middle of the night or during the day, for no apparent reason. This is a very good sign, however, and shows your energy body is responding well to the overall development process. Chapter 10. Energy Movement Sensations. Energy Resistance. Strong energy movement sensations are primarily caused by resistance within the energy body. This is natural resistance to an increased flow of energy through blocked or narrowed energy centers. Bioenergy circuitry. Many people, especially during the early stages of energy body development, will feel some very strong energy movement sensations indeed. These sensations will fluctuate from day to day, but will be found to gradually reduce in severity as the energy body develops to handle increased energy flow. It is a big but natural mistake to measure energy flow by the strength of the sensations experienced. Always keep in mind that energy movement sensations will always steadily decrease as blockages are cleared and energy resistance is reduced. Sensations must be expected to steadily reduce, and this must be looked upon as a sign of real progress. On that same note, a few people can expect to feel only very mild energy movement sensations, even in the early days of learning the new system. This can be caused by them having naturally more well-developed energy body circuitry than average. Some energy movement sensation will, however, always be experienced unless acute and widespread energy body inactivity present. My bioenergy research shows this is not only unusual but is a generally unhealthy sign. Energy movement, bioenergy, when it responds in the early stages, will most commonly cause a surging, bubbling, rushing water kind of sensation. This is especially strong and noticeable in the feet, shins, and thighs. These can be quite intense, even breathtaking at times. You may also feel strong, bone-deep tingling sensations coming from deep inside your bones. This is usually felt much more strongly in the shins and thighs, especially during early days. I have had many of my volunteers report that they have, quite literally, fallen off their chairs and been unable to stand for several minutes while working with new system. This usually happens during early feet and leg stimulation and energy-raising exercises, when surging energy movement sensations have become exceptionally strong. But this level of energy movement sensation is not usually painful. It is more like how it feels when you restore circulation after your legs have fallen asleep, which is fairly uncomfortable but not exactly painful. There are several peculiar, sometimes very strong, energy movement sensations that can be caused by the new system. It is fairly normal while working on feet, legs, hands, and arms to feel strong buzzing and tingling sensations within them. These sensations will fade slowly with regular use and development to a gentle, warm, and comfortable, tingling energy flow. The degree of energy sensations experienced depends greatly upon the state of the energy body in question and how many energy blockages and narrowed energy pathways are present. The strength of these sensations is also affected by many other factors, i.e., the condition of the physical body, plus the strength and availability of planetary and atmospheric energy, which will be found to fluctuate daily. The energy conditions at any geographical location will also be found to fluctuate daily, with them being influenced by a great many environmental factors. Common energy movement sensations. 1. Tingling, tickling, buzzing and vibrating in soles and palms, fingers and toes. 2. Rushing water sensation, up legs and arms. 3. Bone-deep tingling inside hands, feet, legs and arms. 4. Heaviness and fuzziness, especially in hands and feet. 5. Tingling, energetic body rush feelings, up arms, legs and spine. 6. Localized fluttering and pulsing in flesh and on skin. 7. Muscular spasms and twitching limbs. 8. Cobweb-like tickling, like ants crawling all over you. 9. Localized stinging and prickling sensations. 10. Aching or burning hot or cold patches, especially in soles and palms. 11. Needle-like pricking pains. 12. Muscular cramps, reduced energy movement sensations. It is quite natural to think that, over time, as energetic movement sensations become steadily less intense, that you are doing something wrong or that the new system just isn't working for you anymore. Please, rethink this while keeping in mind that heavy energy movement sensations will always lessen as the energy body develops. Masters of energy raising with highly developed energy bodies will feel only gentle, tingling warmth as massive amounts of energy are drawn into their bodies. Look upon the lessening of energy movement sensations as signs of real progression in energy body development. Case histories. Following are several case histories supplied by some of my volunteers while helping road test the new system. I have included these to give readers a better idea of some of the effects the new system can have. In the early stages of development, many of these volunteers had only a very primitive version of the new system to work with. While it was in the throes of development, or so to speak, some of the terminology and procedures mentioned in these letters may therefore differ slightly from those given. Rest of this tutorial, I got both thumb centers working well, buzzing and tingling at the same time, until I felt it tingling deep inside my hands. Then I worked on all my other fingers, feeling strong energy pulsations, etc., all over my hands. I did the stirring awareness action on one foot at a time until I felt the energy start up. Then I switched to the larger brushing action. I started the stirring action on both heels together, and after a couple of minutes, used wide brushing actions on both soles, up and down. Then I started doing it on my hands, but my feet continued the brushing on their own, until I felt a strong burning sensation on both soles. I had to walk to ease the discomfort. Again, while working on my hands, after 2 or 3 minutes, my hands hurt a little from the burning, down to the bones, like someone had smacked my hands hard. I walked and moved my hands to reduce the feeling, as you advised. I worked on my feet, with and without shoes, and it seems to work better without shoes, as you said it would. When I worked on raising energy through my legs, I got one leg going, and suddenly the feeling started in my other leg as well, but I hadn't done any work on it. Body, raising my hands above my head. I then bounced energy through my shoulders and arms, to my fingers, up and down. I did the same on my legs, and after several tries on them, they felt very warm and tingling, especially strong in my feel, and I felt strong energy moving all throughout my legs. Update 2. When I tried to do the exercise again, the next day, the energy centers and exchange ports in my soles and at the base of my thumbs just started warming and tingling as soon as I started thinking about them, but before I actually started working on them with awareness actions. A few moments after starting work on them, less than a minute, my hands and feet started tingling strongly also. I had somewhat of a problem getting the feel for the brushing action this time, because of the intense energy feelings all through my hands and feet. Is this like a plug once thing that you can turn on like a switch after the first time you have done it? Update. When working on the upper part of my body, after a few tries, I started to feel my whole body energizing, tingling and buzzing, etc., making it difficult to localize my awareness anywhere. The overall sensation is about the same as with the lower part of my body, as I mentioned in my previous letters, but is more widespread. One comment: I got a cold on Friday, and by doing the energy work straight away, as you suggested, I am completely over it in just 2 days. Colds are usually much worse for me, so I think that I may be doing something right. As you said, this appears to be boosting my immune system and helping with colds and influenza, and it sure has. Update 4. Here is some feedback on my wife's high-risk pregnancy, as you requested. For just over a month now, she has been working with the new system every day. She doesn't seem to have a problem with the split awareness at all, as I did at first, and says she feels good energy every time. She said that she was having problems with getting the feel for her toes individually, because when she tries to do this exercise, both her feet start tingling all over. I told her to skip this part for now, and to only work on her soles, heels, and ankles with larger awareness actions, as you suggested. Her doctor told her today that her blood sugar level is now completely normal. As a result, she was immediately moved off the high-risk pregnancy status. Note: the woman above delivered a healthy baby, with no more complications during her pregnancy. 2. Mr. C. Update 1. First off, I am left-handed, and find that my left foot works better when doing the new exercises. When I started the energy exercises you sent me, I felt the entire base of my foot buzz quite noticeably, and not just at the big toe joint. When I began to draw energy into my right knee, I become lightheaded. Both feet felt like there was something like water rushing into them and up through my shins. This sensation was very strong. All I did was concentrate on my big toe, and all of a sudden I got this overwhelming dizzy sensation, and could actually feel the energy pouring into my body. After a while I started getting cold, and could not concentrate a lot on what I was doing. Even now, hours later, with my feet propped under my desk, I can still feel a little energy going into them. I noted that after a while, my right foot started working better than my left. Perhaps this is because I am partly ambidextrous, I am not sure. As it was, that was my first time, and I experienced quite a big rush of energy. Where it went, I don't know. That storage center below my belly button was hard to sense, because of the intense energy I was feeling in my whole body. I'm glad I was sitting down while I was doing it, because if I wasn't, I would have fallen right on my ass. Update 2. As I was trying to relax before sleeping tonight, I had some strange things happen. First off, it seems as if my consciousness was wandering. For a second I heard the people in the next room perfectly, as if I was in the room with them. Secondly, my ears and head were acting strangely. I kept getting this rush of energy, like an ethereal punch on my face. This wave of energy would hit my face audibly with a sort of WHUMP feeling and sound. Also, I noticed an incredibly bright flash in my eyes as this happened. It did so quite a few times. Also, this time the tingling and muscle spasms and twitches hit me after the exercises and not during them. Strobe effect. Note: the bright flash and mild facial concussion, as described above, comes from brow center strobing visually. This is seen in the mind's eye as it pulses accumulated energy upwards into the crown center, as is its nature. The facial concussion effect comes from their support structures in the facial area, reacting to the strobe. For more details on the strobe effect, read Astral Dynamics. Update 3. A suggestion on stimulating the energy centers is to listen to some music that is spiritual and relaxing. I popped this New Age CD into my player this morning, and immediately my spine tingled and I felt strong energy rushing into me. The energy centers in my feet turned on by themselves, with no effort from me, and wave after wave of energy rushed up through my legs and into my body. Update 4. I can now do energy work at any time, in class, walking, and in cars and buses while traveling. For me, it didn't seem too hard. My only concern is that I learned this stuff kinda fast. I mean, it's sorta freaky how easy the new tutorial you gave me was to use, and how fast it was to learn. When I try this in cars, first off, it seems harder to feel that rushing water effect in my legs, because the car is shaking, vibrating itself. Also, certain parts of the road seem to be a lot stronger, energy-wise, than others. Specifically, I notice a greater surge of energy over certain parts and a dwindling of energy over others. It seems stronger and more noticeable as I move through open or tree-lined green areas of land and weaker in the more built-up areas in the city and industrial areas. Update 5. As I relaxed in bed today, I decided to try to draw energy using the new system. Anyway, I was drawing energy while I was falling asleep, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this huge surge of energy woke me up. It was the type that was very vitalizing physically. I suddenly felt this energy coming from all over. It was like the energy was pouring into my skin everywhere on my body, and I'm not sure where it went from there. It was a very intense and interesting experience. 3. Miss C. Update 1. I begin by sitting on the couch with bare feet. I close my eyes and focus on my breathing until I reach a state of light relaxation. Focusing awareness on top of right big toe, I feel nothing for a while and have to touch it. Scratch it a couple of times with my fingernail to center my awareness there. It soon starts to throb hard. Next, I work on left big toe. This takes slightly longer. My feet are cold. I can feel the awareness stirring action I am using and the effect it is having. I work on each toe individually, brushing them one at a time. I feel a tingling in all my toes. I keep at this for a while, but I am having trouble balancing and splitting my awareness, stimulating my toes in pairs. My feet feel like they are building up speed, so I sweep their energy up through both my shins, to my right knee first. I feel a tingling in my right kneecap, then my left. The energy seems to have stopped in an area below my left knee, in the calf at the back of leg. I feel like a band is extending halfway around my leg at this location and blocking the energy flow. This feels a bit painful as I try to focus on it and draw the energy through it. My feeling is of my body being distorted and twisting to the right. I don't know if I am physically twisting or not, but I think I'm bracing in order not to turn. I try several sweeps up my left leg again, but the pain is still present. My distortion settles and I feel straight again. Update 2. As before, I sit on the couch with bare feet flat on the floor. I start with my right big toe and start awareness, stirring a spot on the top of its main joint. This starts to become itchy. Go to my left big toe, and there isn't as much response, but enough to let me know it's there. I keep trying for a while, then decide to move on to my other toes. They respond well, and my feet feel kind of prickly all over. I move awareness up my right leg to its This leg is tingly and responsive up to the kneecap. I try and bring the energy up my left leg, and again find there is a painful spot on the back of my leg, so I keep trying to bring energy up through this leg to clear blockage. It still hurts, but the pain is not sharp anymore, just a dull and heavy ache. I keep pulling up right leg and up through groin area into the lower belly button region. My left leg is still not very responsive and has another heavy spot around the back of my left thigh. I try pulling energy up both legs at the same time with my awareness hands and feel some tingling running up my thighs and into my lower back. Now I pull the energy up my legs and into my lower heart area. I figure now is the time to stand, so I do, but I seem to be rocking and feel distorted again. I open my eyes, but can't focus, so close them again and proceed. I try pulling energy up to my throat, brow and crown centers. The top of my head is tickling a lot all over, so I move its energy back down over the front of my body. In line with my breathing, I move the energy up and down, but it's hard to keep balance, so I sit back down again before I fall over. I repeated this for a few minutes while sitting, and then stopped as I am writing my notes. Immediately after this session, I feel a little lightheaded, and the heaviness in my left leg is still very noticeable, but not as bad. I am feeling some tingling and energy movement. Strongest areas are feet, pain in left leg, knee area, belly button area, and the tingling in my crown center. Afterthoughts. Today, after the energy work, I felt a lot easier at work for much longer than usual. I felt more optimistic about a lot of things, and felt generally happier. I had more energy, and was more relaxed and clearer-headed than usual. Update 3. I am not sure if I should try this in a car, but I had a long car ride, and so I thought it would be appropriate to attempt it, especially while waiting at traffic lights. As usual, I started with my right big toe, but by doing this, the whole foot seems to activate this time. My left foot still did not have much feeling, but it must be there, because once I start pulling up both legs, the pain came back into my left leg. I can't focus too easily while driving, but just enough to pull it up and down my body a few times. This produced an energetic feeling afterwards, and cleared my head. My left leg seems to ache after an energy work session for approx 1 hour afterwards. I don't know if it was because of the new energy work, but I didn't get my daughter's cold, and this was a notable exception. I want to report something very out of the ordinary for me. I was with my boyfriend this evening, and I suddenly became very emotional. I have only ever felt this way before, during a very select few meditations. At first it was just a flicker in my chest, and then it felt like I was going to burst. It was a feeling of absolute awe encompassing love. I felt so overwhelmed by this, I was soon sobbing uncontrollably. It came upon me in a wave and lingered for about 20 minutes. This is very unlike me. Subheart note: the subheart storage center was being worked upon and deliberately filled in. The above case history, experimentally and under my supervision. These experiments produced consistently negative emotional results. It caused episodes of temporary emotional unbalancing in the majority of volunteers experimenting with this, with bouts of strong emotional feeling, tears, and rapid mood swings ranging between depression and ecstasy. The results of these experiments were similar, enough that results soon became predictable. I therefore do not advise the direct filling of the sub-heart energy storage center. Sub-brow note: other negative results came from similar experiments as above, where the sub-brow storage center was deliberately filled, again under my supervision. This caused everything from headaches, migraine, depression, paranoia, delusional states, and even psychic instability, all short-lived, showing how unwise this practice can be. One of my volunteers had a type of psychotic episode that lasted for well over a week. I subsequently discovered she had a history of mental instability, but it seems very likely this experiment triggered the actual episode. All my volunteers recovered and stabilized completely shortly after this unwise practice was stopped. I therefore most strongly advise that the sub-brow energy storage center is never directly filled, not under any circumstances. Update 4. It was hard getting started today, and I found it hard to focus. I wiggled my toes to get my awareness centered. Then I brought the energy up my legs to my knees, then up through my thighs and through my groin area, and on up through my body to my crown center, and then back down again. It feels that in some areas, as I energy draw into them, that they automatically become tense. I have to consciously relax them before I can continue. Today, it almost feels like it's calming my senses instead of intensifying them. I feel very relaxed and have a great sense of well-being after the new exercises. Update 5. Today, I concentrated on the full body energy circuit. After I felt comfortable and that it was flowing well, I brought my hands up to my face to see colors. I saw no colors this time, but the heat off my hands was almost like basking in the sun. It was sweet smelling too. I smelled my hands later and the nice smell had disappeared. I came down with a cold the next day, but after doing the new full body circuit straight away, the pain in my ears, throat, and nose disappeared completely. When I finished and got out of my chair, the pain and fatigue was completely gone, and I felt great. Wow, does this new system ever work? Self-healing note: apart from my own experiences with doing this, I have received a large number of letters, very similar to the above, from volunteers who have fought off colds, viriae, and influenza. They have often circumvented the onset of illness completely, or at the very least minimizing its severity and duration to a couple of days, with only very mild symptoms being experienced. 4. Mr. T. Update 1. I had minor sensations in all my toes, nothing very strong, and tingling was the most prominent feeling. Strong tingling in my soles, accompanied by lots of muscle contractions and twitching in my ankles, legs, and some stiffness. The brushing action on my soles made it more pronounced and almost uncomfortable. The toe work also seemed to make me sleepy. I felt a strong tingling in my heels. It burned a bit and felt kind of like a cramp. It didn't hurt much though, mostly just strong tingling like the rest. My ankles and knees were about the same. I couldn't feel much on the insides of my ankles, but everything else had the same tingling feeling. Update 2. Moving energy up through my legs felt good and refreshing. It caused a lot of twitching and vibrations in my legs, a bit of stiffness, but no actual pain. When I focused on my groin centers, I had immediate strong sensations in all 4 centers on both legs. I didn't spend long doing this though, because of your warnings about this in your new research tutorial. It was mostly a tingling, throbbing feeling, and it burned a bit as well. It lingered after I had stopped and made me feel a bit tired. Update 3. Basic energy raising. My legs responded well, sensations as before. Subnaval storage center, vibrating and bubbling noticeably. This exercise cleared my mind and woke me up. I felt the sensations better when I went more slowly, maybe 5 minutes 6 seconds from my feet to my subnaval center. I had no real problems with my arms, but I didn't try coordinating my arms and legs together. I also did not have as much response from my arms and had fewer sensations in them this time. After a while, my groin area became uncomfortably sensitive, hot, tingling and throbbing inside all its centers. I couldn't move my focus away from it, and so I had to stop and go for a walk to ease it. Update 4. I didn't do much structured work over the last week, mostly just in 5 minutes 10-minute segments. All sensations as before. After 5 minutes 10 minutes the sensations in my groin began again. It seems that as soon as I focus my awareness in any part of my body, my groin starts to tingle, throb, and burn. Note, I don't know if this is related to the new energy work or not, but my stomach has been very upset the last day or two. It feels like I am very hungry all the time, and I am already eating about twice as much as I normally do, and it doesn't seem to help. Note, the overstimulation of this man's digestive system is, in my opinion, related to his stimulation of the subnaval energy storage center. After receiving many similar reports, this side effect shows the strong effects the new system can have upon the physical body. In all cases, this side effect has settled down fairly quickly, usually within a couple of weeks, and has caused neither weight loss nor weight gain in the early stages. Long-term use of the new system has, however, consistently caused a shedding of excess fat in some overweight people and a weight gain in underweight people. Also, this man's oversensitive groin centers settled down after a few weeks and caused no further problems. Update 5. Strong tingling, coolness, numbness, stiffness in arms and fingers, palms, wrists, elbows, shoulders. Stiffness is like when I first wake up. No problems moving energy up my arms. Not much resistance felt when using the energy bounce action in my arms, but I found it a bit difficult to speed up the bounce faster than about a second each way. No feelings of fatigue today. My arms and hands felt tingly and a bit stiff for a while after these exercises. Strong sensations and raising energy up my arms, bubbling in lower stomach, coolness in arms and chest, and in most of my upper body. Both targeting and stimulating have gotten a lot easier, without me really having noticed it. My concentration has improved also. I still feel the heat in my groin area, but it has reduced and is not as distracting. I have not felt any incredibly strong sensations, and everything is about the same level. Tingling. A couple of areas are a bit less responsive now, but not much. I still get some lingering heat in my groin area. This is not arousing, just mildly uncomfortable. Also, my mind perceptions seem a bit distorted sometimes, but only while doing the exercises. I feel almost dizzy at times. I woke up after a nap and found I was seeing the room around me through my closed eyelids, but my angle of vision seemed different. I felt like I was looking down on myself instead of forward from myself. I think I might have been having, or about to have, an out-of-body experience at the time. 5. Mr. S. Update 1. I started the toe work on my left big toe joint and almost immediately felt a tingling, buzzing sensation begin to develop in that joint. I continued the stirring action, and the tingling, buzzing became more pronounced. I went on to the next joint in the big toe, same effect as above. I then tried to stimulate the right toe. I tried for a good 7 minutes but could feel only very light sensations there. I decided to do the rest of the toe work on the left foot first, and then switch to the right foot. It was very simple to get all the left toes to feel buzzing, tingling feeling. Then I switched to the right foot and tried all of the toes, but with still only very slight feelings there. I then began to use the brushing awareness technique on the left toes, and although the tingling, buzzing had faded since I had started working on the right foot, they came back almost instantly, and all at the same time. I continued for a bit, and then I noticed that my left thigh was starting to ache, so I went back to the right foot and used the brushing technique over all of the toes. What happened next was strange, and for a little while I did not feel anything. Quite suddenly, I had a sort of explosion of pain in my toes that traveled up into my navel area and then dissipated there. This happened about 4 or 5 times, like a pulsing wave, and then I started to feel tingling, buzzing in my right toes. This was now almost as strong as it was in my left foot. I think that the initial intense burst of pain was just my right toes and leg unblocking, so I think anyway. Now, both my feet and their toes seem to be working equally as well and are just as easily stimulated. I tried dividing my awareness so that I could stimulate both feet and their toes together. I found that this was a little more difficult than doing it one foot at a time, because I kept putting more attention into my left foot and less into my right foot. After a bit of practice, I think I will be able to do it with no problems. I think I have progressed well, and will try this again later today. Also, while writing this, all my toes on both feet are buzzing. It's a really neat experience. Update 2. I had only intended to try and get my toes working again, but when I did a general awareness brushing about 10 times over all the toes of both feet, they all came alive with buzzing very quickly. So I went on to the sole work. As it turns out, the sole work is extremely easy to do and to get going once I figured out how best to use my awareness there. Both feet worked well, and there seemed to be no blockages there. I went on to the heel work after a few minutes. When I began, I could feel nothing in both heels, but after working on them for a little bit, the same thing that happened with my right toes happened with both my heels at roughly the same time, I felt a moment of intense pain in both my heels. This pain traveled in waves up into my lower navel area and then dissipated there. After about 7 of these painful waves, the buzzing and tingling feelings began in both my heels. I find I can now turn my heels on and off, just like my toes, and there has been no more pain since these blockages cleared. Just as a side note, this pain I keep feeling, I'm pretty sure that it was energy blockages breaking apart. I just want to know if it is normal for blockages to be so painful when they clear. I mean, it's not like excruciating pain, but it gave me such a jolt that I almost fell off my chair the first time it happened. After the heel work, I went on with the ankle work. I remember thinking, wow, I'm really cruising now. I was only about 40 minutes into it, and I wanted to see how far I would get before an hour was up. I did the ankle stuff and felt very little tingling in the ankles, but I did feel some. After that, I worked on my knee caps again, but again I didn't feel a lot of buzzing and tingling, but I did feel some tingling in each leg. I assume that the buzzing and tingling will become more intense the more times I do it before it begins reducing as my energy body developed more. I probably have a slight blockage in both kneecaps. I then moved on to the legs. Here is the part that really bugs me. I did all of the exercises in the legs and felt absolutely nothing in either leg. I must have some blockages in my legs. Anyway, I did the leg exercises for quite a while. Then I proceeded to do some hip work. Almost before I finished, I felt pressure and buzzing in my hips as both came online together. I stopped applying the stimulation as soon as this happened, because I remember you said to stop as soon as you feel anything in the hips. Oh, as a side note, with my legs, although I didn't feel any tingling or anything while working on them, this time, right now as I'm writing this, both legs are throbbing kinda painfully, so I think I have blocked legs. If this follows the same pattern as the other blockages when they cleared, maybe the throbbing is a sign they are clearing in response to my earlier work on them. 7. Mr. C. I have been working with your new Energy Ways system for some months now, with great success. A few weeks ago, I did a course in Reiki healing. When the teacher laid her hands on my forehead, they started shaking. I asked why, and she answered that I had a very active third eye, and that when there was a lot of energy under her hands, they always vibrated and shook. I thought I would test this, and so when she laid her hands on my lower back, I started raising energy with the new system from my feet and through my legs to the place where her hands were resting. To my surprise, her hands started shaking again, even stronger than before. I stopped raising energy, and the shaking in her hands slowed down and soon stopped. I then raised more energy to the same place, and her hands started shaking again. I repeated this experiment several times, always with the same result, with her hands shaking. I think this experiment shows that sensitive people can feel the energy raised with the new system, as well as the person raising the energy. This experience gave me confidence and confirmed to me that new Energy Ways is a very effective energy system, probably the best ever. Chapter 11. Side Effects. Physical side effects. The new energetic development system, especially in the early stages, will occasionally cause temporary swellings, lumps and rashes, even watery blisters to appear on the skin. These, I believe, are all caused by narrowed energy pathways having a greater than normal energy flow force through them, and by energy blockages being cleared. This seems to overload the nerve endings in the physical body, which temporarily affects surrounding tissue and skin, causing these peculiar side effects. If you do get any of these symptoms though, please treat them as you would any normal swelling, rash, blister or infection, and consult a medical doctor if you are at all worried about them. Energy-related rashes and blisters will normally itch and sting noticeably when energy is drawn through them. These heal unusually fast though, if you continue regular energy development work, with them often disappearing completely overnight. And finally, if your energy body does not respond at all, even after several weeks of regular effort, I advise a full physical checkup by a qualified medical doctor. Energy blockages of this magnitude are not a good health indicator. This can indicate early disease conditions that have not yet become symptomatic, as early diagnosis of many medical conditions is paramount to their successful treatment. This can be thought of being a potentially beneficial side effect of the new system. Self-healing side effects. The new system can be used to concentrate the body's own natural healing energies in a specific area. This can aid the healing of any physically damaged or diseased area, minor or major. Myself, as well as many of my volunteers, have had some particularly notable success using the etheric wrap technique to heal damaged knee joints injured through sport and exercise. Pain and swelling often disappear like magic overnight. Any painful, damaged or diseased area of the body can be soothed by using the etheric wrap technique. It is not, however, advisable to forego proper medical treatment for any condition, but the new system can definitely aid the healing process. It is also wise, experience has shown me, not to overuse a damaged joint even if swelling and painful symptoms disappear overnight. It will still be delicate and need a couple of days rest in order to complete the healing process. As mentioned earlier, my volunteers and I have also had a lot of success using the new system to fight off colds and influenza. For best results, it is important to use the full body circuit for at least 30 minutes immediately. First symptoms of the coming illness are felt. If done early enough and strongly enough, it will often stop common illnesses dead in their tracks, or at least reduce their severity and duration. I am not making any outrageous claims here. I am simply reporting my observations and speculating on a frequent phenomenon associated with practicing the new system. To speculate on how this may work, it is reasonable to suggest that the new system stimulates and energizes the immune system in a subtle bioenergetic way. This is not an unreasonable supposition if you consider the often extremely strong, bone-deep energy movement sensations commonly felt while using the new system. These are especially noticeable while raising energy through the legs. It is possible that deep bioenergy movement inside the legs affects the bone marrow and consequentially empowers antibody production therein. Note that bone marrow is strongly linked with blood production and can be said to be the seat of the immune system. Try this for yourself, and then, if you find it works, you'll be living proof this may not be such a preposterous speculation after all. Continuing energy demands. As mentioned earlier, once an energy blockage has been cleared, there can remain a continuing energy demand in that area. The energy body will often continue flowing energy through newly cleared areas until energy demands therein are fulfilled. Energy movement sensations may thus continue to be experienced for some time after stimulation actions have ceased, continually or intermittently. Energy blockages can also clear themselves spontaneously in response to earlier energetic development exercises. This can happen at any time of the day or night, which can cause energy movement sensations to be felt for no apparent reason at the time. And a cleared energy blockage or depleted area of the energy body can take several days or more to heal and repair itself once energy flow is restored. Chapter 12. More new energy ways. Energy center spin. Primary energy centers are non-physical vortexes of energy that look clairvoyantly like spinning wheels of multicolored light. Although secondary energy centers cannot so easily be observed, it is logical to suggest they would also have similar attributes. The natural direction an energy center is spinning in can often be felt with the stirring awareness action, especially with the larger skeletal joint centers. If you feel resistance while using the stirring action, try reversing the direction of that action. If the new direction feels easier and more natural, or has a more positive effect, then there is a good chance that center will respond better to the new stimulation direction. Awareness momentum. After repeating any awareness or energy-raising action several times, you will find it will tend to continue of its own accord, even after deliberate awareness actions have ceased. I call this effect awareness momentum. This seems to be caused by a kind of energy body memory taking over, continuing often repeated body awareness actions. This makes the learning and practicing of new techniques and procedures much easier. Etheric wrap technique. Etheric wrap is an extremely versatile technique. It is particularly useful for clearing energy blockages and restoring damaged parts of the energy body. Energy blockages and damaged areas can easily be detected once you get used to the new system, as your body becomes more energy sensitive. Areas that are unresponsive, that tingle noticeably, are heavy, sting, buzz or burn, or act in any way different from the rest of your body, sometimes indicate energy blockages or damage in that area. These areas will thus need special attention to restore them. When you draw or bounce awareness through your body, you may also come upon areas that feel heavier or lighter or fuzzier, or you might come across areas that provide more or less resistance to bounce actions or that seem to deflect them. These areas should be suspected as being damaged enough, needing restoration work. Etheric wrap technique. Use a wide wrapping action over the damaged area. Using your imagination, imagine an endless white bandage of pure energy flowing from your awareness hands. Feel this bandage of energy flowing into the damaged area as you wrap it. Feel the substance of your own energy body flowing into it. This action is to be varied to suit the size and position of the area being worked upon. For example, if you want to etheric wrap a leg, awareness target your foot. Then begin wrapping from toes up, as if you were carefully wrapping overlapping energy bandage around it. Feel your energy flowing into that area, into the foot, through your awareness hands. Continue wrapping up over foot, over ankle and on up leg, all the way to the hip. Take your time over this, overlapping the wrapping action all the way. Repeat this as often as required, wrapping up and down the leg, as this cannot be overdone. If you need to work on a particular internal organ with the etheric wrap technique, first find out exactly where the organ in question is inside your body. Surprisingly, many people do not know where many of their internal organs are situated. Move your awareness hands inside your body and feel for the organ in question. Feel your awareness hands massaging the organ and feel an endless white stream of energy flowing into and be absorbed by the organ. Note that some energy blockages will not show up for some time. Many will only become apparent after energy development has been underway for some time, weeks or even months. The energy body will begin restoring old energy pathways and structures as it develops. This means it may be some time before energy reaches some parts of the energy body. Hence the delay in the appearance of some energy blockages. High energy areas. The levels and qualities of available background energy can vary a great deal from day to day and from place to place. For good quality energy raising, seek out and take advantage of high energy areas and times like sunset and sunrise. Green wooded areas like parks and forests, oceans, beaches, lakes, rivers, rapids and waterfalls, mountains and hills, storms, rainy and blustery windy days, early morning sunshine, moonlight and starlight, places where there is art and or music, happy and excited crowds. If you raise energy regularly, you will become progressively more sensitive to energy. You will soon begin to feel high energy days and high energy areas and be able to take advantage of them. Your body will start tingling automatically when in the presence of high levels of energy, as you learn to taste the energies that abound in the world around you. A potentially negative side effect of the above is the effect low energy people can have upon high energy people. If a high energy person comes into contact with a low energy person, often the energy deficit in the low person will cause a flow of energy into them, taken from the high energy person. One way of looking at this is as unintentional energy vampirism. Another way of looking at this is as unintentional energy healing. Direct contact or touch is not necessary with low energy people, and you only have to be talking to them for this energy flow to happen, even over the telephone. Energy transfer is not weakened by distance as long as there is some kind of empathic connection to carry the energy. Some people may not seem to be energy depleted, but are veritable bottomless pits with insatiable appetites for energy. Everyone knows someone like this. You only have to be with them for a short time and your energy just seeps away. You quickly become bored, mildly depressed, and soon begin feel tired and start yawning. Low energy people like this should, ideally, either be convinced to practice energy raising themselves or avoid it as much as possible. The effects of low energy people can be countered to some extent by raising energy while you are associating with or talking with them, or by raising energy after this has ended. It can also help if you avoid physical contact and avoid making direct eye contact with them. You don't have to hide your eyes from people like this. Simply look at the area between their eyes instead of directly into their eyes during conversations. Daily energy raising time. There is no limit to how much energy raising can or should be done, as long as this is taken only into the subnaval storage center. The more often energy is raised, the more energy will be stored therein, and the more energy will be available for physical, bioenergetic, and pure energetic purposes. And, remember, it is more beneficial for long-term development to raise energy gently and for longer periods of time than it is to raise large amounts of energy in short bursts only. Mouth centers and exchange ports. There are some fairly robust secondary centers along with a high density of energy exchange ports in the lips, tongue, mouth, and throat. It is likely these extract life energies from food and drink, as these are chewed and swallowed. These also seem capable of transmitting energy through voice and song, as well as exchanging energies between lovers through kissing and etc. As a related side note, in my opinion, these structures are also connected with the primary energy centers located at the base of the throat and within the heart, and to a lesser extent with the brow and crown centers. The energy all these areas are capable of generating and absorbing can be substantially increased through direct awareness stimulation. Pre-stimulating mouth area. Each of the below awareness actions should be continued for 20 seconds or more. Stimulate more of your mouth, lips, tongue, and throat if you wish. These stimulation techniques can also be used prior to starting a full body circuit to enhance the mouth, throat part of those procedures. With tongue pressed gently against lips or protruding slightly, center awareness on lips and use of brushing action back and forth across whole of lips. Open mouth slightly and stick your tongue out a little. Center awareness on the tip of tongue and use a wrapping action around it. The area to be worked on is about what could comfortably be protruded from your mouth if your tongue were gently protruded, without forcing it. Close mouth and relax. Then use the mobile, rotary stirring action on the top surface of tongue. Use a wide brushing action along tongue, brushing back and forth, covering the whole length of tongue from base to tip. Roll tongue back and press it gently against roof of mouth without straining it, focusing on the inside of mouth and not on tongue. Brush the whole inside lining of mouth, top, bottom, sides, and inside of lips in whatever way feels easiest, covering the whole inner lining surface. With mouth closed, use a whole of mouth sponging action, taking in lips, mouth and tongue and throat, 2. Base of throat, moving this action back and forth. Bend this action as it passes down your throat, then back, up to your lips. Imagine you have a thick, bent tube inserted in your mouth and that this tube extends deep into your throat. Not a very comfortable picture, but this is just to give you the general idea of the awareness. Action required. Feel your awareness moving back and forth through this tube, taking in your lips, the whole of the inside lining of mouth and tongue, and then moving it deep into your throat to its base where it joins your chest, in and out repeatedly. Mouth area sensations. Awareness actions on the lips and tongue can cause some very peculiar energy, movement sensations indeed. Strong tingling and buzzing sensations in the lips and tongue, plus a noticeably salty, metallic kind of taste like you get if you touch the terminals of a small 9-volt torch battery to your tongue, are quite normal. This energy taste sensation is probably the easiest way to demonstrate the effectiveness of the new system to other people. This proves how direct energy stimulation can be caused by awareness, actions and felt as physical sensations. Food energy awareness. Pre-stimulate mouth, as shown above. When eating and drinking, feel yourself chewing and swallowing and extracting the life force from your food and drink. Eat and chew slowly and swallow thoughtfully, using your awareness to suck the maximum amount of life force out of all food and drink. Take this energy down into your throat and swallow it into your body as you swallow food and drink. This energy will naturally flow into the energy body's storage areas from there. This works with any type of food, but more value can be gained from a natural diet of fresh, high-quality, organically grown foods. The fresher and more naturally foods are grown, prepared, and eaten, the more high-quality life energy they will contain. But whatever you eat, this technique will assist to extract the maximum energy value from your food, even if you live on pizza and beer, as certain friends of mine seem to thrive on. Crowd and excitement energy. Learn to take advantage of any high-energy situation. Excited and happy crowds can release massive amounts of emotional energy into the surrounding atmosphere. This energy can be drawn in and used to increase energy levels. Center awareness strongly in your subnavel center and reach out with your feelings to the whole surrounding crowd. Feel for the energy that is permeating the atmosphere as you feel the crowd and its excitement. Draw this energy into your body, taking it directly into your subnavel using the direct energy raising technique given earlier. As a related side note, I have had several reports from athletes taking part in the road test of the new system of this technique positively affecting their athletic performance. Using the direct and wind energy raising procedures prior to and during athletic events gives them a tingling, adrenaline-like energy boost. They claim this physically invigorates them, empowering and improving their efforts and times, giving them that slight edge when they most need it. The above seems a reasonable claim given the strong and noticeable effects energy-raising actions can have upon the physical body. To support this, martial arts experts are well known to raise and use energy to empower their prodigious feats of strength and agility. The new system can be used to complement these existing energy-raising systems, as with martial arts, or as a standalone system to enhance athletic performance. And when at the top end of athletic competition you are looking at mere hundreds of seconds separating winners from losers, even the slight edge provided by an adrenaline-like energy boost crucial time could make all the difference. Wind energy. Here is a great outdoor exercise for raising energy through the hands alone. This can be done at any time with no preparation. This is particularly invigorating in windy, blustery weather, say where a breeze is blowing off the ocean, lakes, or mountains. If this is combined with energy breathing, it can also have a very positive effect upon respiratory disorders. This technique is very easy to do and can even be taught to very young children. It also makes for a great demonstration exercise when teaching a novice. Of note, I have had very positive results using this method to help treat asthma and other types of lung disorders in both children and adults. Pre-stimulate hands, if necessary, or simply start fresh and just let it happen. Hold fingers wide, hands at sides, and feel the temperature and texture of the wind moving through your fingers. Raise arms slightly, palms out with fingers still spread wide, holding awareness firmly centered in whole. Both hands. Feel the energy in the wind. Feel your hands, and feel energy flowing into your hands and into your body. Draw the wind's energy in through your hands at the start of each in-breath. Take it up through your arms, over shoulders and down over chest, and flow it into your subnavel center. Continue flowing energy into it for the remainder of the in-breath. Relax during the out-breath and feel all the tension and negative energy flowing up through lungs and out through mouth like a dark cloud of waste energy for the whole out-breath. Flick awareness back to hands, and feel the wind again at end of out-breath, ready for start of next in-breath. Continue the above processes for as long as you wish. You cannot overdo this. Note, the speed of the above energy-raising process should match the natural breathing cycle. Energy breathing. The air we breathe contains a lot of energy, and a small amount of this is absorbed into the body naturally. Through breathing, the mouth, nose, throat, and lungs are full of internal energy exchange ports that aid this purpose. The energy absorbed by these can be increased by adding awareness actions and imagination to natural breathing. This is very simple to do, and all that is required is to become consciously aware of the air entering your nose, moving into and through nasal passages and down into your lungs. Your awareness must follow the leading edge of the air, all the way in as it is breathed in and your lungs fill, and all the way out as waste air is exhaled. Imagination can be used to enhance this even more by imagining the air being breathed is charged with colored energy, and by feeling this color being absorbed into the lungs. The expulsion of waste energy can also be enhanced by feeling waste energy leaving the body as a cloud during the out-breath, and by imagining this as being a dirty color. The above exercise is beneficial for any respiratory disorder as well as for generally increasing vitality level. This is especially so on windy, blustery days where wind is blowing off the ocean, a lake, or a mountain range. I have used color breathing, added to the wind, hand energy method given above, for some years now to assist with the healing of respiratory disorders and for breaking asthma attacks. I have successfully taught the basic wind energy raising and energy breathing procedures to children as young as 6 years of age, with positive results. Children, you will find, have extremely sensitive energy bodies and vivid, powerful imaginations. It does not take long to teach a child how to do this, although they will often collapse on the ground laughing because of strong tingling and tickling sensations this can cause in their sensitive hands. This can tend to put children off using this method, but the intensity of these sensations will always reduce fairly quickly if they persevere. I have found that a little honesty combined with a reward system works best with children. Nasal stimulation. There are some small energy centers and groups of exchange ports in and around the nose that can increase the effectiveness of energy breathing if they are pre-stimulated. These are, apart from being related to the natural process of breathing energy into the body, also related to the energetic support structures of the brow and crown centers. Do each of the following stimulation actions for 20 seconds or so. Using stirring action, stimulate tip of nose, circling the entire tip, including nostril entrances. Using a small brushing action, stimulate inside nostril entrances. Feel as if you are repeatedly pushing a small artist's paintbrushes deep inside each nostril with your awareness, in and out. Using a slightly larger brushing action, stimulate the entire length of your nose, brushing from upper lip, over nose, past eyebrows and ending at hairline above brow. Continue this up and down, over and over, feeling the whole of your nose as you do so. Using a whole of nose sponging action, move awareness through nose, from upper lips to the middle brow ridges, back and forth, over and over, feeling whole of nose as you stimulate it. Energy breathing technique. Breathe deeply and slowly in through nose and out through mouth. Feel the life-giving air and its energy entering your body. Follow the leading edge of this air. Feel this entering and caressing your nasal passages. Feel it moving down the back of your throat and down into your lungs, to the very bottom of your lungs. It is easy to feel this depth as being much deeper than it really is, and accuracy is not required. Feel the air and its energy moving deeper, flowing deep into your belly and entering your subnaval center. The above is easier to do if you concentrate only on the leading edge of the air being taken in, so your awareness moves with the front part of the whole air intake only. Trying to follow and hold awareness of an entire breath is otherwise very difficult. Breathe out slowly through mouth. Be aware of the leading edge of your breath rising up from deep within your lungs and up through your throat and out of your mouth. Feel waste energy leaving your lungs and body along with the waste air as a dark cloud for the entire out-breath. Flick point of awareness back to tip of nose ready for next inhale and repeat the entire process. Do not breathe rapidly or you may hyperventilate. Slow, deep, regular breathing produces best results. Continue the above process for as long as you wish. Adding color. With the above energy breathing technique, color can be added to increase its effectiveness or for specific purposes, i.e., color healing methods. It is easier adding color to breathing, again, by focusing only on the leading edge of each lungful of breath during each in and out breath. With practice, this color can be expanded to fill more of lungs with color and to expel larger clouds of waste color. To the in-breath, imagine the air you are breathing in is made of a bright, sparkling color. Any color can be used, but never a dull, murky, gray or black color. Feel the leading edge of this brightly colored energy moving into you with each in-breath and filling you with life-giving energy. Feel this energy being absorbed into your whole body as your lungs fill. With each out-breath, imagine the air is dirty yellow-brown like cigarette smoke, murky gray, or even black, and feel this as being dirty used-up energy and disease leaving your body. Scent stimulation. There are energy exchange ports inside the nose that can best be stimulated using fragrance. I suggest an oil burner evaporating diluted fragrant oil be used for this purpose, but any type of incense, oil, or potpourri method can also be used. Fresh flowers can also be used for this. For specific healing effects on the physical body, I suggest reading up on aromatherapy and using recommended fragrances given by experts in this field. Scent stimulation method. Repeat nasal stimulation exercise, as given earlier. Hold a scented cloth, flower, or potpourri to your nose, or have an oil burner nearby, and breathe in slowly. Close your eyes and concentrate on the smell and texture of the scent. Feel the leading edge of this scented air entering your nose. Feel the texture and body of this scent penetrating deeply as lungs fill. Again, follow only the leading edge of the scent as it fills you. Combine awareness of fragrance with energy breathing, as above. As you breathe in, not only feel the energy and imagine the color, but consciously smell and feel the texture of the fragrance being used, entering your body. Good health is not a requirement for the new system and energetic development. Ill health, however, indicates widespread energy blockages and low vitality stores in the subnaval storage center. These problems should be addressed through daily energy-raising exercises. For a seriously ill person, this may be a matter of some urgency. In this case, I recommend the full body circuit, plus the extra breathing exercises, be practiced many times a day until they become habitual. With a little practice, it takes only a small part of the mind to do this. It will soon begin to work virtually automatically in the background as you go about your daily life. The longer and more often energy is raised and stored, the more health benefits there are to be gained from it. Chapter 13. Energy and the immune system. In many ways, the bioenergetic aspect of the energy body can be likened to a perfect energy reflection of the physical body. Parts of the energy body can also be likened to many of its biological functions. The bioenergy circulatory system, for example, contains arteries and veins. Like its physical counterpart, parts of the energy body can become dysfunctional if energy flow becomes blocked or reduced. The bioenergy aspect of the energy body is not just a mere reflection of internal life processes, it also has a profound effect on them. If parts of the energy body become blocked or damaged, the stage is set for disease to manifest within the physical body. Clearing energy blockages can therefore be thought of as being good preventative medicine. Blood is the mirror image of life energy and has many of the same functions and properties. It takes energy and healing elements into, through, and around the physical body. It also expels waste products and fights disease. Its energy counterpart can be greatly strengthened and blockages cleared so energy flow is increased to higher than normal levels. Increased energetic flow greatly empowers the body's self-healing intelligence, the incredible immune system, giving it more energy to fight disease with. General tests on myself and many of my volunteers have shown that an increased flow of energy into the physical body boosts the immune system, sometimes quite dramatically. This enables the body's natural self-healing mechanisms to work more powerfully and effectively. The most striking example of this boosting effect, as mentioned earlier, can be experienced when a cold, flu, or virus is caught. If the full body circuit is done immediately, the symptoms will often vanish within an hour or so, or at the very least be significantly reduced. The immune system, when energy boosted in this way, seems perfectly capable of throwing off or reducing the severity and effects of any infection or viri. Disease in the energy body. The actual site of any disease symptoms may have very little to do with its bioenergetic cause. The part of the energy body that is damaged or malfunctioning may be remote from the actual site of pain or disease symptoms it is causing or contributing to. This is particularly so with diseases like diabetes, which is usually caused by a disease-damaged or malfunctioning pancreas. Juvenile diabetes is actually classed as an immune system disorder. According to the latest scientific studies, that is, every organ in the physical body receives minute bioelectrical messages from the brain through a complex network of interconnecting nerves. These messages tell the physical organs how to function, what to make, how much, and what not to make, i.e., the correct quantity of insulin to keep the body healthy and alive. The bioenergy aspect of the physical body works in line with these processes and affects them considerably. It is therefore reasonable to suggest here that if any of the bioenergy pathways within the energy body become blocked or damaged, that these messages could become garbled or blocked. The continuing good health of the physical body can thus be energetically thwarted and disease conditions allowed to manifest and thrive. Blocked toes, fingers, and dead areas on the soles of feet and palms of hands, for example, can have a great effect on the functionality of the major organs of the physical body. The particular energy needs of major organs often flow into the body through seemingly small and unimportant parts of the feet, hands. If you examine acupuncture and reflexology charts, you will see many precedents that support this theory. These small energy pathways have been charted and used by Eastern medicine to assist with healing for many centuries. Examples: see, in motion sickness are commonly treated by wearing a little strap with a small ball or two set in it on the wrist. These balls are regularly rubbed in or pressed into the inner wrist to alleviate whole body nausea. These small devices are quite effective and hence are available from most chemists today, even though there is no scientific explanation available as to how they work. Smoking and other addictions are also successfully treated with acupuncture by placing a small needle device in a part of the ear. While this does not work in all cases, overall it shows consistently beneficial results. I personally know several previously heavy smokers that completely lost their urge to smoke the instant this device was attached, and when it was removed the urge to smoke returned, until of course enough time had passed for the chemical addiction to fade. So what does all this tell us? It provides us with repeatable evidence that small and seemingly unrelated parts of the physical body, earlobes, can have major effects upon the biochemical and bioelectrical processes of the whole physical body and its internal organs. It can help, if you are suffering a serious disease, to check acupuncture and reflexology charts to find the exact energy pathways that provide energy to any diseased or malfunctioning organs. You might have traced these pathways along the skin of your body. Draw them in ink as a reminder if you like, and consciously draw energy back and forth along these pathways. While doing this, pay particular attention to any energy blockages or damaged areas encountered along the way. These blockages may be involved with the cause or continuance of the disease condition. I have not at the time of writing this tutorial gathered enough data on new system results to be able to realistically forecast any effects the new system might have on any specific disease condition, so can only speculate here. But theoretically, the new system should be beneficial to any disease condition that can be helped by a revitalized and boosted immune system. I will update this tutorial with more data on this as it comes to hand in future editions, and by the time the full book version of this tutorial is published, I expect to have several well-documented case histories to present in it. If you have a serious health problem of any kind and decide to use the new system to complement your current medical treatment, I would greatly appreciate it if you kept a diary of your progress. If your condition improves, I would very much welcome a copy of this diary, plus any medical records and reports you can furnish me with. If shipping these to me is a problem, please contact me via email first to discuss the matter. See my www site, www.strldynamics.com, for instructions on how to contact me. With all the techniques in this tutorial, please do not use them as a panacea or cure-all to treat yourself, and please see a medical doctor if you are sick. Disease, serious, stress, pollution, fatigue, physical unfitness, plus exposure to many different types of electromagnetic fields we live amongst, all take their toll. These can have a cumulative negative effect upon the delicate inner workings of the energy body, which can reduce the natural flow of life energies into and through the energy body. The negative aspects of our modern environment, I believe, tend to reduce the body's ability to raise and store energy naturally by causing energy blockages, narrowing energy conduits, and damaging bioenergetic structures. Our Western lifestyle seems anathema to strong, natural energy flow, and correspondingly to good health for all. It is my observation that persons suffering from serious diseases like cancer and AIDS have widespread major energy blockages and a correspondingly reduced flow of life-giving energy into their bodies. These blockages can become quite extreme in the latter stages of any terminal illness. The more advanced the disease condition is, the more severe will be the energy blockages. I have observed total energy blockage in the hands, arms, legs, and feet of people in the advanced stages of cancer. Whether energy blockages are the actual causative factor with any serious disease may be scientifically debatable, but they do appear related. Energy blockages may be a natural side effect, a symptom of the disease. The big question is, of course, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Energy blockages or the disease? It is reasonable to suggest, though, that a reduced flow of energy into and through the physical body may be directly related to many disease conditions. If energy blockages are cleared and a stronger flow of life-giving energy restored, which will naturally boost the immune system, any disease condition should, theoretically, show improvement. And my research strongly supports this theory. Getting serious about energy raising I suggest that seriously ill persons want to give the new alternative a fair go. They get serious about energy raising. Ideally, they should spend as much time as possible per day raising and storing energy. The full body circuit should be used extensively, plus all the other energy raising and storing ways given within this tutorial. There is no limit to how much energy can or should be raised. The more energy raised and stored, the more energy the physical body has to defend and heal itself with. The energy breathing exercises in particular should be done as often as possible, especially in high energy areas, until this becomes a habitual part of breathing. A watch alarm can be set to beep every half hour or so during the daytime. One of the energy-raising methods can be used to raise energy for a few minutes every time it beeps. Another way to remind yourself to raise energy is to get into the habit of doing it whenever you are watching TV, say, whenever advertising appears. With a little practice, energy raising can be done with the eyes open, even while watching TV or while walking and talking. It only takes a small part of the mind and awareness to keep energy-raising awareness actions moving. Tumors and dysfunctional organs. For tumors and diseased organs, I also suggest energy be taken to the site of the problem and fed directly into the tumor or diseased organ itself. The etheric wrap technique, modified to suit, can be used for this purpose. Awareness hands can also be taken inside the body and used to massage the diseased organ or tumor directly. They can also be used to sponge energy up to and into the affected area. This type of treatment will cause energy to flow directly into and through that area of the body, while is helping to remove energy blockages in surrounding areas, which will also help. These alternate techniques should not, however, be used to replace the full body circuit, which is the mainstay of the whole new system. Please note that if energy is raised and fed into a tumor, it will not cause that tumor to grow. It will instead empower the physical body to dissolve and absorb that tumor. Perpetual energy raising. Energy raising can become a habitual and continual action, much like breathing. It can take some time before it becomes habitual, but is well worth the effort. In its simplest form, this only requires a small part of body awareness be held within the subnavel at all times. The best way to learn this is to start doing it, and to do it as often as possible. Simply focus a part of your awareness in your subnavel every time you think of energy, health, or development. A psychological trigger can also be used to encourage this. For example, every time you see an advertisement of any kind, or a TV commercial, flick your awareness into your subnavel. Every time you do this, try and hold it there for as long as you can, in the back of your mind, while you go about your day-to-day life. Another simple trigger is an alarm watch set to beep once every half hour or so, to remind you to raise energy regularly. Diabetes. Volunteers with diabetes have had great success using the new system to help their condition. I will make medical documentation available in the full book version of this tutorial when it is published. One lady volunteer suffering from type 1 juvenile diabetes of 26 years duration, with a total non-functional pancreas and full insulin dependency, was able to reduce her insulin dosage by 85% in 3 months using the new system twice daily, 30 minutes per session. Her blood sugar levels began changing a few days after beginning her work with the new system, and progressively improved until her pancreas returned to almost full functionality. So far, of note, this lady's body weight began dropping steadily since starting the new system, with no change in diet or exercise. Detailed medical records of this case will be made available in the full book version of this tutorial, plus a full report on these changes by her diabetes specialist. For any serious disease, apart from regular feet and leg stimulation, the full body circuit should be done for a recommended 30 minutes each session, twice per day. A diabetic should also use a deep side-to-side brushing action on their pancreas for several minutes each session. A close check must be kept on blood sugar levels at all times, as insulin requirements may change without notice, and any reduction of insulin dosage should only be done under the supervision of a qualified medical doctor or diabetes specialist. Cancer. The only volunteer I have worked with long enough to give feedback on has been my own mother, currently 76 years old. She has been religiously using the new system for 3 years now. History. The kidney was removed and she underwent chemotherapy, and she survived, but she did not want to use the new system at this time. However, 3.5 years ago she was diagnosed with lung cancer, wanted to urgently remove one of her lungs, and booked her into hospital to have the operation a week later. But given her age and health, and the fact she is a long-term smoker, he said her chances were quite low of surviving the operation. With this type of tumor, apparently, chemotherapy was not an option. This frightened her so much she agreed to put her life on the line, to refuse surgery and put all her trust and strength and effort into using the new system alternative. A truly brave and trusting. However, it did not take her long to learn the new system. She was amazed by the sensations she experienced while learning it, and this spurred her on to even greater efforts. Her health has slowly but steadily improved since that time, and the tumor in her lung has not grown or spread. Of note, my mother. Her arthritis has also improved greatly. She walks better and has put on some much-needed weight. She has also successfully treated a badly sprained knee, sprained ankle, spinal pain, and various other injuries, completely recovering from each injury or problem within a week or two at most, which is phenomenal for a woman her age. She now uses the new system for every pain or health problem she gets and absolutely swears by it. Her oncologist almost fell off his chair when she visited him for a checkup 2 years after being diagnosed with lung cancer. To quote him, "My dear lady, I thought you were dead," was his amazed greeting. He could give her no explanation as to why the tumor had stopped growing, but requested regular 3 monthly visits to keep a check on her progress. Also of note, Mum's mental faculties and memory have also greatly improved. Like when she was much younger, she can now do the Times and LB cryptic crosswords in under an hour without using a dictionary, which she claims is cheating. I am not saying everyone using the new system will have the same results as my mother, but it is reasonable to suggest, faced with the evidence I have before me, that the new system may be beneficial to good health in cases like this. Let's face it, apart from medical treatment, when you have cancer, the only thing your body has going for it is its immune system. And if you can boost the immune system, the physical body can often accomplish wonders under its own steam. Once again, please do not use the new system as cure-all or panacea, and please do not hesitate to consult a qualified medical doctor if you are sick. However, if you are faced with no viable medical treatment or alternatives, you now have a new alternative to consider: other diseases. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, I have not yet had the opportunity to test the new system with people suffering from a wider variety of serious diseases. This tutorial will be updated as soon as information comes to hand, and addendums will be placed on my www pages, www.str@ldynamics.com. I have not had the opportunity to work with AIDS patients thus far, so at this time have no data at all on the response of this condition to the new system. But it is my considered opinion that any disease that can benefit from a boosted immune system will show significant improvement. Energy raising during sleep. Myself, plus many other volunteers, have noticed a peculiar phenomenon that boosts the new system, and consequentially the healing ability of the physical body. This only seems to happen when you fall asleep while strongly raising energy. In the morning, more often than not, the physical pain you went to sleep with will either be gone or significantly healed. I believe falling asleep while raising energy causes the energy-raising action to carry over into sleep state, and as the sleep state itself causes a naturally increased energy flow, it is reasonable to suggest this combination may promote stronger natural healing of the physical body during sleep would otherwise be possible. Some of these cases may seem like miracle cures, and this does not always happen, but cases like this are not that unusual. 2 examples. 1 woman volunteer, a veterinary worker with long-term juvenile diabetes, was savaged by a feral cat. The cat's tooth passed completely through her finger and pierced her fingernail from beneath. She also had several other nasty lacerations on the same hand. She sought immediate medical attention and had her wounds cleaned and bound. Within 3 days, however, a serious infection took hold, causing swelling, redness, and serious pain. Her doctor gave her injections of penicillin and warned her, because she was a diabetic, that the healing process would be very slow and that she might lose her finger, and to be prepared. Desperate and in terrible pain, this woman spent the entire evening raising energy and treating her injured hand with new techniques. She fell asleep while doing these. The next morning she awoke with no pain, no swelling, and no infection. Her wounds had closed over and were covered with a very light layer of pink scar tissue, not scab tissue as one might expect. Now this level of healing is, medically speaking, quite impossible even for a normal healthy person, but it happened. This woman's doctor was totally flabbergasted and could not even begin to explain how this had happened. Her wounds continued to heal normally, with no recurrence of infection. 2 Another woman volunteer, aged pensioner aged 75 years. At the start of one rainy season, this woman was so badly crippled by arthritis she could not walk or do anything. She told me she felt so bad she just wanted to die and never wake up. On my advice, she spent the entire evening raising energy, nothing elaborate, and fell asleep doing this. She woke up the next morning with no pain or disability whatsoever. She got up, had breakfast, cleaned her house, and took her dog for a walk before she remembered how sick she had been the night before and realized what had happened. So far this lady's arthritis has not returned, and it's been 2 years so far. Needless to say, this lady now practices the new system daily. Recommended daily regimes. The following regimes cover most energy requirements. They start with minimal exercises for general development and good health, progressing to more intense workouts for those undertaking serious development work and for those with serious illnesses. Stage 1. Start by brushing feet and hands for several seconds each, preferably in pairs. Bounce legs and then arms, again preferably in pairs. Then bounce spine from coccyx to head for several seconds or more. Then use the 2-part breathing circuit. Half a dozen or more energy-raising breaths should suffice for each part. This is recommended as being done 3 times per day, with each session taking 2 or 3 minutes. The absolute minimum is 1 session per day, done before falling asleep. As previously stated, falling asleep while raising energy causes a carryover of energy-raising actions into the sleep state, which is highly beneficial. Stage 2, same as stage 1 above, but more time should be spent on each part. Either continue the 2-part breathing circuit for several minutes or use the full body circuit. Particular attention should be paid to any problem areas, known energy blockages or diseased areas. This should be done twice a day, morning and night. Travel and waiting time should also be taken advantage of for energy raising. Stage 3, same as stage 2 above, but morning and night sessions should be continued for 30 minutes each. If privacy is a problem, this can be done in the bathroom. When treating any serious disease, the disease site or organ should be identified and treated with suitable brushing actions. A book on anatomy should be consulted to identify the exact positions of internal organs. Stage 4, similar to stage 2 above, but with 4 or 5 sessions being done per day instead of 2. All available travel and waiting time should be used for raising energy. Perpetual energy raising should also be nurtured, with energy being raised at every available opportunity. Falling asleep while raising energy should be attempted every night, and with every nap taken during the day. This regime should only be used for treating serious disease, and not for normal development purposes. This level of energy raising, while beneficial to any disease condition, may be counterproductive to overall energy development if too much effort is used with awareness actions. A few last words. Energetic development offers enormous rewards if practiced regularly over the long term. These rewards are by way of improved physical health and vitality levels, as well as through enhanced bioenergy and the perception of energy. Psychic abilities, you will find, are a natural side effect of long-term bioenergetic development. Long-term, by the way, does not mean quite the same thing as it used to with more obtuse visualization-based development systems. Not when you are using the new Energy Ways system. Noticeable progress will usually be attained fairly rapidly, given that the new system not only works directly on the energy body, but that it also teaches you how to manually use it to gather and use energy, raising energy to primary energy centers and forcibly stimulating them into activity. The length of time it takes to develop any kind of ability is extremely variable. It depends greatly upon the original state of the energy body in question and on its natural energetic potential. Many people will find some type and level of psychic ability will begin to manifest almost immediately, while others will be slower to realize their potential in this respect. In all cases, though, new energetic development will be significantly faster than what is considered normal today. The complete new system, including primary center work if diligently and regularly applied, is incredibly effective and speeds development significantly. This helps to keep interest high and turns the improbable into the probable, and the possible into the very likely in the near future. This brings us to the end of the New Energy Ways tutorial. I'd like to thank you for reading my book and hope you have not only gained something valuable from it, but have also enjoyed reading it. I work very hard to make my tutorials reader-friendly. To learn more of the core skills required for further bioenergetic development, i.e., deep physical relaxation, taming the mind, the trance state, understanding and working with primary energy centers, see Astral Dynamics. More than just another book on OB, Astral Dynamics can be thought of as being a complete course in metaphysical development. I plan to steadily add to the number of books, tutorials, and booklets I have available at present, energy, interdimensional weather permitting. Check my www page at www.astraldynamics.com for updates, addendums, and availability of new material. You will find a lot of interesting material and links on my website, free for online reading or downloading, and more coming all the time. Thank you for listening. Pucerie care.